Every single surfer will say it's the most dangerous wave in the world. There have been 4 deaths at that spot. That's the spot on the North Shore where the lifeguards can't see you. You almost have to experience it to believe it. Essentially what happened is, took a wave, kicked out, there was a set behind it. There could be like 20 waves in a set. I took like the first wave of the set, which you're never supposed to do. Kicked out, bang, next wave hits me, breaks my leash. I didn't have any flotation on, got pulled into the wave, thrown over. Boom, hold my breath, come up. Another one on the head. Like I can't get to the surface. So I finally get up, boom, another one on the head. I'm like, dude, this is... I gave up and I was so winded, gassed, I was like fading black. Essentially, I got stuck in like this 12, 15 wave set. So this happened for like probably 5 minutes. So this kid breaks his board. I see the nose of his board. I'm like, dude, can I please use that? He's like, yeah, cool. I grab it. I'm like, finally have flotation. And then this wave hits me, boom, rips the board out from under me. Dude, I'm just like, dude, this is it, boys. This is it.
Are you able to explain the obsession and the passion to people that don't surf? Like, what is it about surfing if there's something that can help people understand that maybe have never surfed before?
So, yeah. Okay, so surfers are like crackheads. Like, straight up, people will blow off work, lose their job. They will get in fights with their wives. Like, I don't know about... if it goes this far, but pretty much like not pick their kids up at school.
Yeah. But like make no money, like have a job that facilitates them being able to surf. Like
people will go the distance to surf. And so surfing is a very spiritual thing. Whether people, I don't know if everyone like connects with that aspect of it, but I think for the most part, that's what people are kind of chasing, like a feeling that you only maybe get the first time, or if you up the ante. So like the first time I rode a wave, I was like, this is me. Everything makes sense. The speed, the feeling of floating, like not being in my body. And I was like, this is who I'm supposed to be. And then my first barrel, I was like, this is really it. Like, this is really who I'm supposed to be. And then, like, the first time you do a turn on rail and you can feel the board gliding through the water and you're just, it takes you out of your body. And I believe you get rid of anxiety, you get rid of negativity, all those worries that you've had in the day. Because, like, I don't know, something like commuting to work, like, all you do is stress. Commuting... like when I was commuting here, I was just thinking about stuff and then like, you know,
anxious rumination.
Yeah. And surfing is something that rids you of all of that. And I truly believe that is why it is what it is for people. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you're right. Like, I'm sure that's funny to look at from an outside perspective. People are obsessed. Too obsessed. And then like, but then this other thing happens where people who don't get to surf a lot will just talk about it all the time. Yeah. And that's pretty gnarly. Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Like hearing it, like, cause people will just be like, maybe they don't feed their obsession enough, or they don't put the time in to get like the barrel that they want or whatever, so they just talk about it.
And then they take it out on whoever's around them, being like, yo, I love surfing. And then just explaining, like, dude, this wave, it broke. And then people are like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And then you're hearing about
their wave in Costa Rica in 98 when they were, you know, and you're like, well, maybe you should just go back. You know what I mean?
But I think a lot of people have that experience where they meet surfers and they're like, yo, there's a crackhead addiction. There's a real fucking addiction here. And if you haven't done it or it hasn't hooked you, then it seems weird.
So my wife told me, like when I first met her, she was like, not really, she surfed a few times in her life. And then I was like so stoked, like, oh dude. And I used to joke around, be like, you're going to be a Roxy girl. Like she was like a Blue Crush fan and stuff when she was a kid. And she's terrified of the water, terrified of sharks, terrified of waves, terrified of everything. And I push her into waves, and like a couple times I've gotten her perfect. And when she surfed at the Skudin pool, she got like the best wave of her life. And I'm just like, how was it? And she's just like, I don't know. Like, I guess I don't get the feeling. Like, it's not, I don't get it.
It's weird how that happens, right?
And I'm just like, what do you mean you don't get it?
Isn't that crazy? So this is what's happened with me. Like I've surfed a handful of times. Like growing up, I would surf like even foam tops at New Smyrna. Like I did that a lot. Like my wife actually surfed like a decent amount even before me. Her dad was a big surfer. So like we would go together. I would try it. I'd get up. I would go to Scooten's pool. Loved it. I would get up, but it never hooked me. And it's like so weird because like I would ask people, I'm like, what am I missing? My brother surfed like nonstop. My brother was obsessed with surfing. And I remember asking him like, dude, what am I missing? And he's like, it just might not be for you. And it was one of the first times in my life where I tried something where I was like, oh, damn, it didn't hook me. But like, I'm still appreciative of the art of it. But other things have grabbed me, like stand-up. First time I ever did stand-up, I was like...
Stand-up paddleboarding?
Stand-up comedy, bro. Yeah, see, for you, you're just only thinking board terms. You're like, dude, paddleboard, right? That's close. But no, like first time I did stand-up, I was like, oh yeah, this is it. Even like working out, I was like, oh, I like this like meditative process of like being in the gym, feeling like tired, like that kind of thing. I was like,
that's why you drink like 9 power cores a day.
Yeah, despite being the skinniest, least strong guy ever.
I looked at the bottle and I was like, it says elite vanilla.
Yeah.
It's like, what about that vanilla is elite?
No, this is one of the most elite. That's actually.
Oh, it is.
That was
42 grams of protein.
That was my nickname in high school, elite vanilla.
Elite vanilla.
Yeah. There's some black kids that would call me that. But yeah, this is 42 grams, dude. Sponsor me.
That's a lot.
Fairlife. Yo, come on.
How many grams do you need a day?
Do you need?
Yeah, as a human being.
100? No, probably not. Probably like 40.
Well, dude,
I'm doing 200 a day.
Okay.
I don't know if that's
good. Is that
good? I don't know, dude. My kidneys are a quagmire right now. I'm in trouble, I think. But I was just like,
are you regular?
I ride goofy. I'll be honest. Is that what you mean? No, my whole shit is fucked up. My stomach, lower intestine. I don't know. I'm working on it, okay, dude? I'm in transition.
Too much protein, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I gotta look into that. I don't know. Maybe not enough carbs. I should eat more candy, man. I don't know. I'm gonna work on
dude,
that.
I've been on a diet recently.
Really?
Yeah, it feels good.
Wait, why?
Because, dude, I've been working out since April. And I definitely toned up a little bit, but like, I didn't get skinny really. Because I'm like working out really hard, but then just eating like a maniac.
Oh yeah, you know, like I deserve it because I've been working out so
or
good.
like I'm about to pass out. You know?
Yeah.
So then,
why? What's your guilty pleasure? You like a cookies guy? You're like what's your sweets? Like what are you doing?
I eat ice cream.
Oh,
I love ice cream.
Yeah,
it's so good.
But what are you talking about though? Like what kind of?
Just chocolate. Anything chocolate in life is.
You just go regular straight chalk?
Nah, like if I have to.
But you're not gonna go like I go cookies and cream or something.
Cookies and cream, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like having like texture.
Okay, so like if I had a Death Row ice cream, it would be like a Dairy Queen like Blendini or whatever, the Hurricane or whatever.
Yeah.
And it would be chocolate ice cream with extra Reese peanut butter cups.
Oh, that's actually good. See, because I feel like you need texture. I feel like that's important. If you just get straight chocolate, I'm like, are you 6 years old?
I was talking like desperation.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. You just finished a long workout.
Yeah.
You're exhausted. You just got to crush a pint. Don't even.
Oh, dude, then I'll just go Ben and Jerry's, like the.
Oh yeah.
Whatever they got.
Yeah.
Chocolate brownie.
Whatever, dude. I don't even care. Americone Dream. You know what I mean? Cherry Garcia. I'll suck down some BJs. I don't even care, bro. Come on, you know what time it is.
I don't know about the Cherry Garcia, dude.
I thought that was good.
Yeah, I never tried it, but I never trusted it.
Don't hate. I didn't hate on surfing. You know what I mean? I tried it though.
You kind of do though, like low key.
The thing is, bro, you gotta understand. I love every other board sport. I love snowboarding.
I was going to ask you that.
I love skateboarding. I skated all the time as a kid.
Did it hook you though? Or like, did you just do it because it's easy to hop
Skateboarding
out?
Was the thing closest. And then wakeboarding was close also. I grew up in Florida. So like I'd be at
Orlando's like
OWC.
big.
I would like wakeboard all the time. My brother would wakeboard. I had friends with boats, wakeboard with them. I loved wakeboarding.
Did you ever try like wake surfing?
I did. So like I would scurf like, and that was fun. But the thing that I didn't like about surfing, and tell me if I'm thinking about this the wrong way. I never got into the Zen meditation. So like I would go out and I would paddle and I'd be like, man, I'm pretty tired from all this paddling, trying to get past this like break right here. Like this is kind of a lot. And then I'd like try to line up and I'd be like, okay, the wave's coming. I see it. Paddle, kick, get up. And I'd be like, boom, 8 seconds, having a great time. And I'd be like, all right, now what?
Okay. I'm trying to figure it out.
Because it's like the time expenditure and the energy cost for the thrill. I feel like that ratio was off.
That's part of the magic. But that's also why I own a jet ski. 'Cause
That would be fun. Getting towed into a wave would be really cool.
I freaking invited Andrew so many times, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Where to?
You're welcome to come.
Where?
Jersey.
Wait, you can tow into waves in Jersey? I thought that was like a big wave thing.
It's called a step off. So you don't need big waves. And these waves that I'm going to put you in are going to be big for you. Like, you're going to be like, what am I doing?
Sick.
But to like Garrett McNamara or the guys from 100 Foot Wave, they're not big.
Yeah.
But like for us, they're big. They're like as tall as the tent.
Like 10 foot?
10 foot face.
Wow.
So over your head for sure.
Yeah.
So so I'm driving the jet ski, right? And you're behind me and you're sitting side saddle, both legs on one side, holding your board. So then I'm driving. I come over the back of a wave, 10 footer. We're looking down it. Before it even breaks, I go, jump. You jump, you land on your stomach, get in, you're in early, you're already up and riding, and then you pull into the barrel. And like, it's called a step off. It's the best.
That sounds sick.
Because then once you're on the inside, no paddling, nothing. You go like this. I drive in, pick you up, take you over the whitewater, back out there. Never miss a set wave, never get caught in a current, never get cold. It's like...
That sounds awesome.
It's awesome.
Genuinely. I'm like, that's everything I love about wakeboarding. I'm like, so you could jump on a wakeboard, like jump the wake a bunch of times, practice some 180s, like it's constant stimulus. And then you get tired, your legs kind of get sore, you jump on the boat, hang out, crush some Twizzlers, and then run it back in 30 minutes. Like,
I guess I could put Twizzlers.
If there's Twizzlers involved, I'd be completely down. That would be sick.
Those thick ones that like peel into one.
Oh, yeah.
Those are good.
The flat one. Yeah. No, those are fine. But don't give me red vines. If it's red vines, I'm just like, what are we doing?
Red Vines used to sponsor the NSSA, that contest in California.
No way.
So like the beach was just packed with red vines.
Oh, really? Are you like loyal now? Are you brand loyal?
No, I thought those things were gone. I didn't even know they were still around.
I think they are. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't seen if it's like a publicly traded company or anything. I don't know if they're publicly traded or what the deal is.
They did all right for themselves because I still remember.
Yeah, right. I guess it worked in that case.
name.
Yeah, they killed it. But no, that sounds fun actually. Getting like doing a step off would actually be really cool.
Yeah.
Is that frowned upon in the surf world?
It is a little bit.
Why?
Because people that frown upon it can't afford a jet ski. So it's
Talk that shit, dude.
No, it's there's purists that are like, the art of surfing is putting on a wetsuit, paddling out, fighting the ocean. But then I would say, then why don't you just body surf?
Whoa.
If you're a true purist.
Take the board out of it.
But like, I enjoy surfing. Mm-hmm. I enjoy big wave toe surfing, big wave paddle surfing, small wave paddle surfing, step offs, whatever. For me, it's wide open. I'll do anything. It's as long as I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah, you like being on a wave.
But some people are just purists.
Yeah.
They need to do their ritual, surf a certain way. A lot of people surf the same spot over and over. Mm-hmm. Only one spot. Which
makes sense. Like if you are, like you were saying before, if this is like a meditative practice for you, like being in nature, paddling out, like getting kind of lost in the repetitiveness of like getting past a break, getting up, having fun for 20 seconds, and then start doing that over and over and over. If that ritual is what you need to kind of like quell your anxiety, to feel, like you did something that day, to like really feel accomplished, to like whatever that grounding is for you, it doesn't matter where you're at. It just matters that you do it all the time.
I think that is what it is for a lot of people. And then for like me, it's more about, I think I got enough of that when I was younger.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, let's find a new wave. Let's find a different type of wave. Let's go on the jet ski today. Let's surf big waves tomorrow. Let's, like keep it exciting.
You like the stimulus.
Yeah. I like to keep it exciting.
Yeah. And so I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, you've like really blown up your vlog and like your show through these like novelty waves.
For sure.
And can you explain to people what a novelty wave is?
So like normal surfing would happen out at your local beach, bunch of people out there, you see them floating, normal stuff, whatever. A novelty wave is either a wave that doesn't happen often or is in a location that maybe people wouldn't go and surf, because there's this thing in surfing where we'd always be like, oh, look at that. Like that looks rideable. And like we always like look at mini waves and we look at maybe a wave behind a boat or whatever. And people always looked at these waves, but then like what I did was I just went the extra mile to go surf them. Like no matter how bullshit they were, no matter how small they were, junk, whatever. So a novelty wave is like, it's hard to say the Great Lakes now because it's very popular surfing in the Great Lakes, but like a lake wave, a wave in a river where you're doing a standing wave, a wave behind a barge or like a ferry, or maybe inside an inlet. And like you look to your left and there's 30 people surfing here, but then there's this mini wave peeling down the inside of the inlet and there's no one on it. Like that might be a novelty wave. Anything that's different and maybe a little obscure and not normal, novelty.
Yeah, I like that.
Just a little something different.
There was a wave that I saw. I was with my family when I was like a kid. We went to, I think it was somewhere in Germany, and there was a river wave.
The Eichbach.
I think
in Munich.
Yeah. And like you go by this bridge.
Very popular.
And you would just see like this natural.
It's a river wave.
Yeah.
Standing river wave.
So can you speak on like that? Have you surfed that?
I haven't.
Oh, really?
But that's an extremely famous thing now.
Okay.
Social media, it's crazy. Social media has changed like surfing so much. And the novelty aspect, there's almost like those types of things like the Munich river wave or like something new and different is like almost competing with regular surfing, like because people are interested in seeing this different world, this different side to it.
Interesting. I wonder if it's similar to like skate culture where like street skaters will basically like be on the hunt for like spots.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, these steps outside this bank, I don't think anyone's ever jumped them. Excuse me. But it's like perfect. It's like a perfect like little like 5-step that I could go jump.
I think the niche is way more niched in novelty waves or new different waves than street skating. But yeah, it's the same idea because that's how I am. And now I believe there's a culture of people that think like me kind of like, we're like, dude, look at that wave. It's perfect. No one would ever surf that, but I'm going to go surf it.
So for you, the thrill is twofold. It's not only surfing it, which is obviously fun. We've established like there's like a meditative, spiritual like excitement to jumping on a wave and like just going after it. But then there's also the speculation of being like, can you even surf that thing?
For sure. For me personally, absolutely. That's what I chase. That's what I love. I'm more interested, like, I don't know if you saw my Nebraska video, but I went and surfed on Lake Lake McConaughey in the middle of Nebraska during a windstorm. No one's ever even thought about it before. And I swear that's my most underrated content I've ever made because like you can't surf in Nebraska. But like I fully found like a 3-foot wave in Nebraska because of wind swell fetch coming across the lake. And like for me, I flew to Denver and drove 4 hours to the lake. Like that is commitment.
Yeah, it's insane.
People wouldn't even do that travel to guarantee themselves a wave.
To go to an actual beach with great waves.
So for me, it was like, that's what it's about for me.
How do you even find that there's what you call it? A fetch?
Fetch. Wind fetch.
So that's when wind is basically hitting the water.
It's blowing. Yeah, and it blows long enough. I think it was 40 hours. Across in the same direction long enough to create rolling waves.
Wow.
And then those waves have to find somewhere to break. And then like there's no buoy information on Lake McConaughey because no one's ever surfed there. Yeah. So it's just it was wind finder and I was like, okay, 38 miles an hour sustained from the, I think it was the north for 40 hours. We should be good.
No way.
Like why not?
So you're literally just looking at like a wind map.
Yeah, there's this app called Windy, and you can look.
Yeah.
And it's like green, yellow, red, purple. Like purple's the stuff.
Yeah, I love this, dude.
So like that was like a big Bill Nye moment for me. I was like,
so
dude,
cool.
I can really expand on this. Like this changes everything.
When was that wave?
2020, actually.
Oh, so it's pretty recent.
Pretty recent. So I had already finished the 50 states. I had already done so much novelty, but it was like, is there more out there? Like I scratched the surface. I went to these waves that kayakers knew about, that this guy knew about, this guy DM'd me, this guy showed me.
But you were never discovering waves.
The Nebraska wave was all in my mind. It was imagination. And my friend Dan Setsky, this guy from Colorado, he texted me. He's like, hey, Lake McConaughey is 180 miles long. Just putting it out there. And I was like, okay, I can figure this out. So then 3 years later, we went together and did it. And there was a full wave.
So it was literally a 3-year journey.
Yeah. Mental.
Of like speculating on whether or not it's even possible.
And then like I'm watching windstorms, like getting anxiety on my couch, like I should be
It's
there.
yellow right now.
I should
it's
be
yellow.
there.
You've literally done that where you're like, what if I get on a flight? Like looking at flights being like,
yeah,
if I make it tomorrow, there should still be wind and I can try to get it.
Yeah. So, and then like picture trying to explain that to your wife.
She's like, yo, it's my sister's wedding. And you're like, but it's purple on Lake McConaughey right now. I don't know how to explain this to you because you're afraid of the water.
Now you're getting it.
Dude, am I getting hooked?
I'm hooking
is sick,
you, dude.
bro. Wait, that's actually really cool. So you're literally speculating. So wait, but you already surfed in Nebraska before.
I did, but it was a wave pool. But I literally thought it wasn't possible to surf in Nebraska.
So you're like, I'm going to do this kind of like cheat.
They invited me to go. They saw what I was doing, and I was like, I'll do it. I'll count it. Like,
because you did surf in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Counts.
Counts.
But you want to be in the shit.
So now I there's no wave pools in my 50 states. And like, yeah, I will say I accomplished the 50 states. I did it. I surfed in every state, but there's more for me. Like, yeah. I have ideas about North Dakota, South Dakota. I have ideas about other states that I'm like, I can make this more surfing. I can make this better. This can become more than what it is. And like, that is not something for anyone else but myself, because yeah, sure, I'm going to make a vlog of it. It's going to be fun, but like, I don't expect to go surf North Dakota and do it better than I did it before, and people to be like, wow, the new frontier. For me, it's just like personal. Okay, I the wave I surfed in North Dakota is okay, but I want it to be like this.
Oh, I
want it to be better.
That's so cool that you're genuinely like, people might not give a shit that I surfed North Dakota better than I did before.
Yeah.
But it's a personal mission that I want to be natural waves in every state.
So that's the Nebraska thing. I was like, dude, I'm not happy with that. So we're gonna figure this out.
Because it's technicality.
Yeah.
Wow. And are those the states that are generally the toughest to like find novelty waves in?
Flat in the middle of the country, so far from the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything with coastline, pretty straightforward.
Easy street, yeah.
And then anything with a big lake, like
Big
anything
lakes.
on the Great Lakes,
Yeah.
that's like probably second tier.
Yeah.
And then just flat.
And then rivers. So like mountainous areas have, like Wyoming has great rivers, like Montana has great rivers.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah, there's a couple riverways in Montana that are probably better than some of the breaking ways. Like not better, but taller than some of the breaking waves I counted for. Like Connecticut was fun.
Why?
Because it's landlocked. Well, it's not landlocked. It's blocked by Long Island. So I actually had to get south wind blowing south. Wait. So I had to get wind blowing from essentially like New York City-ish area out through, because like Long Island goes around,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Long Island Sound blocks Connecticut from the ocean. So there's no swell coming in. So I had to get south wind. And then I went all the way to the end in Connecticut to like, I think it was like near Stonington. I'm not exactly sure. It was a state park, but I went as far as I possibly could so then the fetch could be the biggest, and I surfed. So it was wind swell, same idea as the lake.
Wow.
But it's cool. It was like it was a crazy experience because it's like, is this going to work?
Yeah.
And then it worked.
What about like Rhode Island? Is that like
Rhode Island's just ocean. Rhode Island gets great waves, dude.
Really?
Yeah. Really
I'm trying
great.
to think of like weird outlier areas. Like Alaska, obviously on the water.
Alaska,
freezing.
I surfed, there's a tidal bore in Anchorage. So there's this river called the Turnagain Arm. And like in the northern parts of our country, the world, I guess it's far away from the equator. So like, think about this, like Hawaii and like the Caribbean have like these very relaxed tides. They're like 2 feet, 1 foot.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you go from the Caribbean all the way up, like Anchorage, Alaska, even Maine and like Canada, northern areas have these like crazy 30-foot, 40-foot tide swings. So essentially, all this tide will go in, and it'll be a 30-foot difference. Like you can see it if you're in the Turnagain Arm, which is this river that the tide pools into, and it pools all the way back into the mountains. And it's just normal. Can't tell. It happened over a 6-hour period. So you're just like, whatever. Okay, cool. There's a goat. There's some mountains. Like we're in Alaska.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the tide switches and it comes flooding back. And that 30-foot difference creates a wave on the front of the tide. And it's not a 30-foot wave, but the tide difference 30 feet, it could be like a 4 or 5-foot wave. So like we went there and like the whitewater was just rushing down the river, the front of the tide. And you have to go out into the middle of the river and just stand there and be like, oh God, like here it comes.
Well, you can see it coming.
Oh, you can see it coming for minutes. And you just stress the whole time. And then.
And the water's like pretty calm that you're standing.
Oh, it's dead calm. And then it starts pulling. Starts pulling back towards where it's rushing from.
And the current's coming towards you.
The wave is coming towards you and the current is pulling you into the wave.
Oh,
But it's only like this deep. So we were standing knee deep. Here comes the wave. And then it comes and they were saying like, you don't know, it could be powerful, it could not. So I've done this three or four times. And the most recent time I did it, the wave was way more powerful than the other times. So like I was standing there and I was showing my friend, we went on like a boat trip in Alaska and like, I was like, dude, we got to hit this. I was being Bill Nye. I was like, we got to hit this on the way to the boat. Like we're not missing this opportunity. So then I brought my friend Blair out into the middle of the Turnagain Arm and he's like, dude, what is going on? And so this thing hit us and we were just like, boom. Like, dude, it like hammered us. But then you ride the wave for 10 minutes, 15 minutes because it's going down the river. It's trying to work its way to the ocean, all that tide. So we were on the wave carving back and forth like, it's going to close out. Oh, it's opening up that way. Go that way.
No way.
So like 10 minutes riding. Like, dude, it's mental.
It sounds like in movies, you know, when a volcano happens and you ride like the piece of the volcano like down on the magma, but you're just going down the mountain for like an hour.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. You're literally just in this thing, dodging rocks and shit.
It's cool.
Cruising through the river.
And
how fast are you going?
10, 12. It picks up and slows down.
You're moving.
Yeah, you're moving.
That is wild.
It probably could get up to like 15 miles an hour.
And if you miss it.
Oh, you're done. That's it.
Wait,
Except.
What happens if you miss it?
So, all right. So like the first time I went there, they told me about this thing. It's called getting mud fucked. So like these people were like, apparently this lady sunk into the mud and like she got stuck and then like the wave hit her and they were like trying to pull her out with like a helicopter or something. And then like once the tide went over her, like she was just gone. So like they were just like constantly like, don't get mud fucked. Like it's pretty gnarly, dude.
And that's when you're standing waiting for the wave.
Yeah.
Wow.
So less gnarly than that. It happens a lot. People miss it or they get hit and thrown or like my buddy Mackie, you met Mackie.
Yeah.
He rode the wave, but he only rode it for like 3 minutes and then fell and then he was just done and we just kept going.
So if you fall,
you're just back there.
But like you can swim out.
Yeah, like it'll throw you around for a little bit
Sure.
and you'll get sucked with it because the whole ocean's going back out. So like you'll get sucked with it, but it's not as like you can get smoked, but like for the most part, you're fine. And then when I was in England, I watch this old head like, so there's a tidal bore in England and we were riding and he fell. And then like I watched, he flipped his board backwards so the fin was in the front and he started paddling sideways because there's this area in the white foam that like it'll keep you in it and you're not in the wave, but you're just behind it. And if you keep paddling, you'll stay with it. You'll never catch up. But he paddled to the shoreline and then the shoreline like explodes around because it's where it's pinching the tide in. So then he like exploded around and he was on like the mud like this deep and then when he got back into the wave he flipped his board around and got back up.
No way.
I was like, this guy's a wizard, dude.
And is this a guy that must like ride that that boar all the time?
Dude, England was so wild. Like I met these guys and the coolest thing about novelty waves is like they'll just reach out to me because they'll just see my novelty wave videos and they'll be like, dude, you gotta come surf like here. So I hung out with this group of guys. They call themselves the Muddy Brothers because like it's all these mud flats and like classic English dudes. And they took me to like a secret spot, and I wasn't allowed to film the first wave. So like we rode this wave for like 25 minutes, and I wasn't allowed to film.
No way.
And it's like, so that was cool. It was like
because they didn't want to blow the spot up.
Yeah. Because there's the spot that's blown up that everyone knows about, everyone searches.
There's a secret
and then
spot.
There's the secret spot, like different area.
And how was that one?
It's sick.
Really?
Yeah, it's sick.
What's up, guys? We're going to take a break really quick because it's 2024, and it's time to talk about something important. When you are seriously hurt, your injury could be worth millions. Yes, that's right. The world is a crazy place, and one person's negligence can result in another's settlement. And that's why I got to talk to you about Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. They have over 100 offices nationwide and over 1,000 lawyers. Yes, these are the big boys. You know them, you see their billboards all over the world. If you ever drove down I-90 from Florida to New York, I'm telling you, you've seen the billboards, all right? Have you ever watched a UFC fight? You've seen them right on the banner. I'm telling you, these are the biggest guys in the game, all right? With over $20 billion recovered for over 500,000 clients, Morgan & Morgan has a proven track record of fighting to get you full and fair compensation. The annoying thing with most attorneys is that in order to submit a claim, you got to call them up, you got to talk to their people, you got to go back and forth on emails, you got to hope that they see it. They might charge you just to even look at their claim. Here's the cool thing with Morgan & Morgan. With 8 clicks or less, you can submit a claim and one of their licensed attorneys will take a look at it and get back to you. It's that easy. It's like ordering something off Amazon. It's just a couple clicks. You can submit your claim very easily and cheap. Yeah, how about $0? That's how much it costs to submit a claim with Morgan & Morgan. Extremely easy, no fee required. So if you are ever injured, you can go check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. That's right, unless they win for you. Unless they fight and get you compensation, you're not paying a single dollar. That's a pretty good deal. So for more information, go to forthepeople.com/Gagnon. That's correct, forthepeople.com/Gagnon, or dial pound law, that's pound 529 from your cell phone. That's for the people, forthepeople.com/Gagnon, or dial pound law, pound 529 from your cell phone. This is a paid advertisement. Now let's get back to the show after this short disclaimer. That must be so cool to like be able to touch the culture in all these little places.
Yeah, dude, that
are just obsessed with getting on a wave.
That is the best part of my job, the most amazing thing I get to see, because you got this group of dudes in England who surf. Now they have a wave pool nearby too, but they surf a tidal bore and a wave pool, and they're like ocean surfing. Who cares? You know what I mean? Yeah. But then and then I can go. I've surfed in the Great Lakes with guys that are just like, yeah, lake surfing. That's it. That's what it's all about.
Wow. And
then people that are just like ocean surfing is the only way, but it's all surfing. So it's like it's very cool.
And you like seeing every little flavor.
I love seeing it all.
Oh, that's so cool.
And that's what I have to change it up, keep it interesting.
How do you find river waves? Like, obviously if someone tells you, but have you found any on your own where you're just walking down a river and be like?
Yeah, I found a couple. There was one in Vermont that we pretty much saw it from, my buddy actually saw it and he was like, let's go check it out. And then the first time it was flat. Then 2 years later we saw it again and we were like, dude, let's go check it.
And he just saw it just near his house?
Google mapping.
He was Google Maps.
Because he knew I was coming out there to try to surf and he was looking up the river. And he found it and I rode it the one time. And then rivers are gauged on cubic feet per second, the CFS reading. And for when I was doing the 50 states, a lot of it was kayak websites, kayak forums. I was reading through whatever. I don't know. The Centaur's not good unless it's 80,000 CFS. You got to make sure it's raining or they release the dam or this or that, whatever. So it was all this crazy research. And it's one of those things at first you're like, what are they talking about? And then when you start getting into it, it all starts clicking, making sense.
Yeah.
Because the river, you don't have to worry about the wind. But lakes, ocean, everything else. Wind. Yeah.
And so how does a river wave get formed? Is it a rapid?
It's a drop. Yeah, it's this part of the river is this tall, this part's this tall, drops down, but it also has some type of hook. So a lot of times there's a big rock, big boulder, and then it'll drop down in the boulder and create white foam here. So you don't want to surf there, you would die. But if you're over here, it's safer white foam and then a clean face. So then you can go in that foam to catch it. It's called the pile, they call it. And sometimes the pile disappears, like right as you're paddling. It's like, oh, no pile, I'm going to miss it. Just get washed down through and you're down the river. But then you can get on the wave and say there's foam here and the clean face here. They call it the green wave or the green part of the wave. And then you can mimic ocean surfing. And like our goal with river surfing always is to mimic, like do a turn. Totally different sport though, but you have to make it look like you're riding a regular wave.
Yeah.
So
oh, that's interesting.
it's fun.
And so for those river waves, you can ride those indefinitely.
Yeah. As long as you like your legs will let you.
I mean, that sounds kind of sick too. Like you could just be like kicking turns like on that all day.
Yeah. So you can like, we went to this one like in Montana that was just like, dude, you could ride for 10 minutes and then you go lay down and someone else could ride next to you. And then like maybe they fall and you get back up, do a couple more turns, and then you go sit back on your board, truck driver style. Like,
what do you mean sit on your board? Like,
so like you could be surfing and then like we have this trick we call the truck driver. It's a joke. It's like a joke. But like you sit on your butt and then you put your feet like on the nose of your board and then you like go like this, like drive the truck.
while you're on the wave.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
That's
like,
so sick.
it's cool.
And so this would be, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, like the actual physics of it is like, I've seen it like cruises will have it sometimes where like they'll have like a little fake wave
Flow
thing.
rider.
Yeah, exactly. Where like
Same
they're
idea.
shooting water up a hill and then you're riding down the water on this little like ramp.
Yeah. But the flow rider is what they call a shallow water wave.
Mm-hmm.
And like, in my opinion, that has nothing to do with surfing. Because like they ride like the skate deck style things.
Yeah.
And then they have deep water ones now they invented. But yeah, the river surfing is the same idea as that, but it's deep. So you can ride your fins.
Right. And you can get more traction, get more turns. Like
You can do like real committed maneuvers.
interesting. So are people like airing out on these?
Yeah,
Like,
oh yeah.
really?
Especially in Munich, dude. The one that you were looking at.
Yeah.
They do it, dude.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's sick.
And so what places have like thriving surf communities that you wouldn't expect? Like when I think surfing, I'm obviously thinking like, you know, Hawaii. Like I'm thinking like Florida, parts of it.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking like Portugal, like parts of like, you know, the coast like off Africa. Like where are the spots where you're like, yo, you would not believe it? There's a community here that loves surfing.
Like Erie, Pennsylvania.
Really?
Yeah. Lake Erie.
And they're lake waves.
Yeah. And they're sick.
And you go out there and you're like, oh, this is like a beach town.
Yeah. It's sick.
Wow.
It's rad. But the thing about lake surfing is, for the most part, they don't get to surf in board shorts. A couple times a year, maybe. They're
cold?
surfing in a 6mm wetsuit, boots, gloves, full hood, like the whole deal. So like
Lake surfing is that much colder.
it's just when they get the waves, it's cold.
I see. So if it's summertime,
Chances are the lake's just
dead.
flat.
Wow.
So when you say a beach town, it's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say like Montana, and they've created waves like Idaho. They have like a wave, and there's a surf shop, and I've been to the surf shop, and I guess it was in Boise, Idaho. I can't remember. I've been to so many, dude. But yeah, there's like surfers, surfboards, like a surfboard rack, and it's like, whoa, that's crazy.
What about Antarctica?
Yeah, I was trying to get that at the end of my 7 Seas thing, but Red Bull wasn't into it's a lot.
There's waves.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's waves.
Has anyone done it?
Yeah, there's a guy that surfed it. There's a documentary about it on the Red Bull surfing app.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he might be from Argentina, the guy. He's like a big wave surfer.
And what would go into doing something like that?
Dude, you gotta ride the shipping boat to Antarctica, or take there is a plane, but I don't know if you can even bring like bags, and like I think a lot of the trips they're like tourist trips. So like you go to Antarctica for 6 days and like you pay $15,000 and they take you to see penguins and this and
But
that.
it's very organized and structured. It's almost like a cruise.
So it's impossible to break away.
Yeah.
But I think you can ride the ship over, but you need to be in touch with a country, because you know how like Antarctica is divided into like
it's
different
geopolitically,
countries.
it's like a whole weird thing.
Yeah.
So you have to be like representing.
Yeah, and you
I'm
have
a part
to
of a U.S.
You have to
whatever.
work with those people, and they have to give you military people that'll take you around to waves, and you You'll probably need a 6mm wetsuit, boots, gloves, the whole deal. And then like you could probably be stuck inside for a couple of days because of the wind and the storms. And I definitely want to do it though.
That's on the bucket list.
Yeah, for sure. I was trying to figure it out. I was trying to just convince Red Bull to let me just get a plane ride because they have planes.
Yeah, dude.
for the 7 Seas, but they're like, I don't think we need it. I was like, yeah, but we need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How were the 7 Seas that you did? 7 Seas, 7 days.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Chiba, Japan. Bali, Indonesia. Bells Beach, Australia. Melbourne, Australia. Texas, which is the Gulf of Mexico. I subbed that in for the South Atlantic. Then I went home, North Atlantic, and then I went to Norway for the Arctic.
That's so far.
It was sick.
Yeah, I mean, it's just conceptually, it's such a good idea.
Thanks, dude.
Like,
appreciate it.
I was even listening to you say it to on a different show. You were like, I've heard the 7 Seas my whole life.
Yeah.
What are the 7 Seas?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh, you don't?
I've heard that term, like, oh, you sailed the 7 Seas, but like, I didn't even really ever think, how many seas are there?
Yeah. So the 7 Seas have changed throughout time.
Right.
And like I had so many different ideas. Like, talk about anxiety, dude. That project was like, because I produced the whole thing, like front to back, conceptually, everything. And I was like, okay, so what do we do? Do I involve shipping routes? Is it this? Is it that? Like, what do we want to do? So at the end, Red Bull was kind of like, just do the 7 Seas that you want to do. So then I found like surf spots I really wanted to go to, and then I connected them. But it was North Pacific in Japan. Then it was the Indian Ocean in Bali, Indonesia. Then it was the Southern Ocean in Bells Beach, which is the ocean that's connected to Antarctica. But only Australia counts that as the Southern Ocean, as that part. The rest of the world doesn't. So that was a nice loophole, like a fun.
Counts.
So then Sydney was South Pacific. Then the Gulf of Mexico, we subbed in for the South Atlantic. Then North Atlantic, Jersey, then Arctic.
Wow.
So they divide the Pacific and the Atlantic into two, which like I wasn't the biggest fan of when we first went into it. I wanted more names, make it fun, but it's whatever. It was more about the location, showing the culture, showing, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
And what about Oslo Arctic surfing?
So sick.
Really?
Best thing of the whole trip, for sure.
Really? Why?
Dude, it was awesome. First of all, we saw the Northern Lights. And like the first night we pulled up and we were just like, my buddy JT, the one kid filming, he was like, I think there's a shot at the Northern Lights. And we rolled up, it was like 9:30 at night. And dude, by 10:30, they were just like blasting. And that's surreal, dude. Like that's something you hear about your whole life too.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things, like the 7 Seas is really special to me. Not only was it a massive project that I got to come up with the idea, do the whole thing, and I actually got to follow through with it. But like surfing, there's certain points in my life when I'm like, wow, surfing got me to see the Northern Lights. Like that's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
How cool is that?
It's like out of body.
The shit blew your mind, huh?
Blew my mind, dude.
Yeah, I really want to go see those.
It's amazing.
And how long? It just goes like for hours?
Hours. Like all night, dude. And then like
wild.
I think it went the first night, the second night, and then it didn't go. So like that was one of those things too. Like I get pretty like spiritually connected to stuff that I do.
Yeah.
So when we rolled up and saw that, I was like, damn, like I was meant to be here.
Yeah, that was a moment.
This is it. Like this is what it's all about.
Did it look anything like you had seen before? Like is there any like analog for it? Or is it like
There's one thing I can tell you is that it looks cooler on an iPhone than in real life. Which is kind of a bummer.
No way.
Swear to God, you can hold your iPhone up and look at the Northern Lights, and you're like, huh. Wow. It's pretty crazy, dude.
Okay, now I'll just watch your video then. I'll just be like, all right, I feel like you kind of covered it. You know what I mean?
But like, dude, the kid JT that was filming, he like stayed up for hours, like time lapse. He's like, oh, if I film this time lapse at this speed, I'll do this, I'll do that. Like he did all different angles, and he got some amazing footage. Like,
oh, that's so sick.
Like mind blowing.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
it seems just so wild. It's just like the whole sky lit up.
Yeah, it's something, dude. It really is. And it's just like, I don't know, life's so weird nowadays. Like, I like to like stop and appreciate stuff. And like I feel like the Northern Lights is just one of those things you could just forget about that it ever exists. It doesn't really matter that much. But then like when you see it, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
This is for real.
The Earth is crazy.
Like no wonder people are talking about this. You know? Like,
yeah, get what the hype is about. Everyone's been talking about this for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I always say like cliches are cliches for a reason.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, your parents always tell you bullshit and you're like, shut up. Man.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I get it. But then like you get older and you're like, oh.
Yeah, they were completely right.
Yeah. Northern Lights is one of those things you're like, damn.
What is which spot? Can you explain like local culture? Like locals culture in surfing and like what that means?
Yeah, it varies. But yeah, essentially localism in surfing is like people protecting their surf spot. And there's so many different rules and so many different things that happen around the world. And like for the most part, like you can, for the most part, everyone in surfing is very friendly. But there are people that are aggro. And there's certain places, like I guess kind of what I was saying before about people are very like stuck in their mindset about how surfing is and how it should be. And I feel like at a certain point, surfing was so influenced by this like Hawaii localism thing that it spread to certain parts of the world, maybe where like it doesn't need to be.
Interesting.
And like I've experienced localism like on the Great Lakes. And the biggest thing about localism in this day and age is that most of it happens on Instagram. So like they'll just wait till you leave and then they'll attack you on Instagram. And it's like, bro.
Oh, really? It's like gone digital.
It's gone digital.
That's crazy. Because like the stories you would hear back in the day is like, oh, if you go to this surf spot in Hawaii, you got to like check in with someone that like is a local. And if you just go out there and no one knows you, then like they'll fight you.
Yeah,
and like you'll get your ass beat on the beach, which like if you don't know surfing, it seems crazy. It'd be like, wait, how? Like these guys are like chill. Why are they fighting people?
So for the most part, it's kind of like if you are respectful of like the unwritten rules of the lineup, you're fine. Mm-hmm. Like so in Hawaii, for instance, like the North Shore is like the spot where everybody surfs. North Shore of Oahu. But then like there's other places around the island where like you just don't film. And it's not like, and no one needs to argue about it. It's just like, we get it. Like everyone's cool with the North Shore being the place that you film. But then what that does create like crowded, a lot of cameras, like the North Shore gets crazy. And if you go out to the North Shore and you act like you paddle out to Pipeline, and maybe you're inexperienced or you're not as experienced as you think you are, and you go out there and you just turn around and take like the first wave, like someone's probably going to say something to you, or you're probably going to end up going over the falls and getting injured. So for the most part, like in Hawaii, the waves kind of keep the surfers in check.
They kind of police the surfers.
They police because they're so gnarly. So like I've seen situations where like a guy's taking off and then like there's a guy on the shoulder of the wave, which is like further down the line. And like the guy taking off clearly has priority and like he's in a better, safer spot. But then like in Hawaii, there's Pipeline locals and like you just know that like if they want to wave, like they're going to get it. Like I'm very respectful in surfing. Because like, obviously I don't live in Hawaii. I have a ton of friends there. I love going, love visiting. I get some waves when I go, but like, I'm not going to paddle out and try to get in like I'm not going to go out and try to be the man and like try to paddle battle a guy that's been surfing there his whole life. Like it's his spot. He deserves it. Mm-hmm. So localism really only ever comes into play like if you are completely oblivious to the rules and regulations of just surfing. Because surfing is basically like the wave breaks, there's a surfer closest to the curl, they call it, and like they have priority on the wave. Don't take off next to them. Don't try to push foam down the face. Mm-hmm. Don't get in their way.
That's called snaking.
Yeah, snaking someone. Dropping in, snaking, taking off on. Mm-hmm. But then like the other form of localism that like I've run into a few times, like I was saying with the Great Lakes, there's this crazy dude from Michigan that was just like, he was gnarly. I had to block him because he was going nuts on my Facebook page and stuff. And he was like, don't be coming here and filming this and belittling, calling this a novelty wave and all this stuff. And I'm just like, bro, I don't know. Cause I'm just like, I always link up with like the nice, cool.
Yeah. People like you.
Yeah. Like normal people.
Yeah.
And then like, it's weird to think about, but like this guy's a meth head, you know what I mean? So he's just like going wild. So then there are places around the world where like there's localism for no reason. And like there's a place in Oregon, it's called Seaside. And like I would probably just never surf out there because like apparently like the locals will like actually throw rocks at you and like attack you. And like I don't even know if the wave's that good. I haven't really seen that much footage of it.
It's an ocean wave.
Yeah, and it's in the ocean. And it's like, it's interesting, dude. Because like they're just taking it too far for what reason?
Yeah.
And for the most part, what I've come across is like these violent, crazy local people that I've run into, like people that will actually say something to you. They're like terrible surfers. So it's like a really weird.
Yeah.
Because like if you're a talented, good surfer, you're competent in your skills, like you're not really going to have any issues in the lineup. Like you're not going to be cutting people off. You're not going to be running people over because you know how to turn your board. So like a lot of like the heavy locals are like usually not the best surfers.
Yeah.
It's strange, man.
No, that makes sense, actually. That makes me happy to hear that. Like, that, because I've just heard these stories where it's like, yeah, the locals will fuck with you if you're not, like, from there or whatever. And I was like, damn, that just seems, like, territorial. But it makes me happy to know that it's like, no, it's just the insecure guys that are the worst.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
That have nothing.
Definitely.
That are like, okay, this is one thing that I have. I live near a wave, and this is my thing. Even though it's not your thing. But you get to own something.
Yeah.
And then when someone else comes in, especially if they're better than you, then it's like, fuck that guy. I'm going to take away the thing that he wants, is to be on the wave.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, you nailed it. It's odd.
Yeah.
And like I actually had someone pretty much like yell at me when I was in Florida. I went out and I was on the Gulf Coast of Florida. The waves were this big. And it was the exact type of person you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I have a GoPro on the front of my board. And like, he's like, don't be pointing that camera at me. And I was like, what? And he's like, don't be pointing that camera at me. I was like, I'm not. And he's like, well, good. That's what's happening. Don't point it at me. I'm like, dude, I would never point this camera at you. Trust me.
Yeah.
And he was just so mad. He just like went in. And then like I walked by later, I heard him talking shit. And I was just like, I heard him say something like, I wish fucking Ben Gravy would go back to Jersey, whatever. And I'm like,
no way. He
I'm
knew
like,
you.
Yeah. Well, dude, sometimes like it makes you a target. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But it's like,
I mean, at this point, your profile has gotten like so big, specifically within the surf world. Like if you got on a wave, I'm sure one out of like probably 2 or 3 people know like, oh, that's Ben Gravy.
So yeah, so like I don't know. It was weird though because he like got out of the water, or like he got out, like he didn't want to surf near me, nothing. I was trying to be cool. I was like, oh, what board you riding? He's like, it don't matter. I'm like, okay, dude.
What a dickhead.
So then he got out though, and I'm like, okay, so you just got so mad you had to get out.
Yeah.
And then like, what did that solve? Like I would have shared waves with you. Like it's all good. Like plus like I'm not gonna film the spot and be like, yo, everyone go here. You know, I'm gonna
fuck with this guy.
I'm gonna protect the spot. I'm not gonna show the street sign. Like,
right.
Cause like that's another thing in surfing too. Like I don't go places, like I have to film a lot. I don't film every session, but I don't go places and I'm like, yo, this is in this spot in this town. Like come here,
coordinates here.
You know, I'm
Google
like, dude,
Earth
like
here.
I film just the wave and I don't show anything else. And like,
right. It's just the town. Or
but
it's like
those types of people that you mentioned earlier they'll use any excuse to. I mean, you know how Instagram is, dude.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
And so you've seen it happen now, like on Instagram, where people will be like, they'll tag people specifically, or will it just be like a rant into like the ether?
Yeah, it's rants, tagging, all kinds of stuff, and it's just
And you see it all the time.
all the time, and it's getting worse. Like Instagram's just getting worse in general, I believe.
Yeah.
I just choose to not even engage. I don't
Yeah.
care. Sometimes I'll throw like a funny comment, but like if they come back, I'm just like, dude, I'm not wasting my time with this.
And so have you seen people that are like tagging pros, like, yo, this pro came in here, or like, is there more reverence and respect for like tour guys?
It depends. I've seen it. I've seen both. During COVID, I feel like a lot of stuff. I remember there was this specific situation with this guy, Kanoa Igarashi. He's a Japanese pro surfer on the tour. And he was in Portugal, I guess, during COVID, and he went to a spot, and everyone was like freaking out that he drove 3 hours to go surf. I don't know.
Because he was like bringing COVID or something.
I don't know.
That seems kind of racist, bro. What the hell? Come on, dude. Let the Asian dude surf. Like, what's wrong with this? That's crazy.
But like, yeah.
That's like bullshit. That's, generally speaking, localism is like stupid.
Yeah, generally speaking.
Is there ever an excuse for it? Like, is there ever a need for localism?
For sure.
In what sense?
But the crazy thing is, whenever I've seen a situation where a local, someone who's competent at surfing, talented, had to say something to someone else, the local was respectful. They were like, hey, man, just want you to know, you just paddled out here. None of us know who you are. You're back paddling us and you're taking too many waves, and just want you to know, like, someone will snake you eventually if you keep doing that. And then the guy's like, oh man, I didn't even notice, like, and then they're like, all good. Don't even worry about it. Like, let's just surf. So like that, cause like, if you're like, say you just come from California, you go to Hawaii, you paddle out, or the East Coast, you go to Hawaii or anywhere, dude, you paddle out and you just take a wave, and then everyone's sitting, and then you just go back out and you take another one. And then like maybe other people wanted it, but you went deeper than them. Then you're kind of breaking the unwritten rules of surfing. But for the most part, if you mention something, I pretty much never care.
Yeah.
I'm not that type of guy.
Even on your local spots?
Nah, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just whatever.
Have you ever gotten in a fight, even in your younger years, over a wave?
Like an argument or anything physical?
Either.
With my brothers.
That counts.
But no. I mean, nah, I just don't care. I don't care.
Have you ever seen a fist fight?
Yeah.
What happened?
It's usually just not as exciting as anyone would expect it to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's usually just sad. It's just like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Come on.
Stupid.
We're 40.
Yeah, you're at the beach doing your favorite thing.
Because remember, guys, like once like we leave this like surf spot that you're claiming, like the real world is like right there, 15 feet away on the beach over there. Let's remember that.
Yeah.
There's like a weird bubble that I think people get lost. They're just like, they think surfing. I think surfing is one of those things too where like people don't get to do it as much as they want, so they have this whole fantasy world that they live in.
And there's so much pressure on each experience.
Yeah.
Like when the experience happens, it's like it has to be perfect because I only get to do this once every 2 months.
Yeah.
And if I don't get the thing that I need, people are gonna have to pay.
Yeah.
And they take it out. And it's probably smaller spots too. They get like the most localism, or like smaller waves, or like more like novice waves, because more people can access them. Well, like Mavericks, you have to be so talented to do that.
You're spot on.
And if you're able to do that, then everyone's like, oh yeah, that's the dude from Long Island, or the dude from Jersey. They're like, he's cool.
So you're 100% right, because that's what I was saying. Most waves regulate themselves, because that crazy, stupid, way over aggressive localism happens at point breaks that peel down the line for a really long time that are usually no consequence waves. They're just mellow waves that peel down the line. I don't know. I just don't get involved in any of it. Yeah. It's just like, I just don't care. Yeah. And I would rather just be on a novelty wave anyway. Ain't no one going out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's no localism on novelty waves, right? Or I guess like lake waves and stuff, but like, I can't imagine you're finding like a breeze coming across some water in Nebraska. Yeah, people are like, dude, that's my breeze. Why are you getting on my fetch?
It's my gust of wind.
Yeah.
No, but and for me, like, I'm trying to just go find the final frontier. Like, I don't want, pretty much in my personal opinion, if like there's a million people out, I don't even really care for it that much, Like
Right.
some people thrive on the fact that they drive down to the beach, they get out of their truck, they put their board on the back of their truck, they look like the man, they talk to these guys, and then they paddle out and think they're ripping.
Yeah, that's not your deal.
No.
Let me wear my pineapples.
I'm
and
just
find
like-
a fucking river.
Yeah, like if all the boys are going over here, like for the most part, like it's just like what I like to do spiritually. Like I want to go find something that no one's ever written.
Yeah.
And like that's just my vibe. That's what gets me that feeling.
Would you try to do every country? What's up, guys? We're going to take a break really quick because we got to talk about your amazing dick game. Yes, you right now, listen to my voice, my deep, soothing voice. You have an amazing dick game. Mm-hmm. Or maybe you know someone with an amazing dick game. Maybe you got a boyfriend. Who knows? But if you have an amazing dick game, there's a way that you can make it better. And that's with the good people over at Bluechew. Mm-hmm. Bluechew is an amazing service that basically delivers a chewable tablet that has the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, all that stuff, but this is the chew. It's at a fraction of a cost, and it's never been easier to get your hands on the greatest dick game of your life. Mm-hmm. Never been easier. I'm telling you. You can go to bluechew.com, and you can submit all your information to a licensed person, a legit person that will then mail you a discreet, very unassuming, but very, very powerful package. You know what I'm talking about? The powerful package to your home. That's how easy it is. You don't got to go talk to a doctor and be like, yeah, you know, I want, nope, easy. You got to just go on the internet, bluechew.com. I want to get the best dick given of my life. And that's how you do it. Easy as that. And for the listeners of this show, of this program, you are going to get free first month of Bluechew. Mm-hmm. You're going to be getting Bluechew for free. All you got to do is pay $5 shipping. That's a cup of coffee. Black to be delivering that BBC. You know what I'm saying? That's bluechew.com, BLUECHEW.com. Use the promo code Gagnon, GAGNON, and receive your first month for free. That's bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And thank you so much, Bluechew. I'm telling you, man, check out this product. Even if you're one of these people that's like, I don't know, I don't really need it. What are you talking about? It could be better. It can always be better. Let's say you're in the 1%, you're about to be in the 0.01% with Bluechew. Now let's get back to the show.
Dude, I'm doing it.
And
Did you know about that or no?
I think I heard you mention it.
Okay.
And what's the status with that?
Status is I'm like 10% finished. I have I'm like 22 countries in. I actually haven't done the count. Dude, it's way harder than I thought.
Well, yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. And explain why.
Money.
Yeah.
50 states probably cost me like relatively, let's just say if I averaged it out, maybe $300 a state, $500 a state, because like I would go, like I went Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, and like that whole trip's like $800.
Yeah.
But then like I do one drive that costs me a couple $100 in gas, and then that sets me back.
And
so
where
average,
are you sleeping? You're getting hotels and stuff?
I was sleeping in my van when I did that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had a nice bed in my van.
Oh, that must be so nice.
Yeah. So like, okay, so like we did a trip to Germany and it cost me like $6,000. So, but we did Germany, Belgium, the Netherlands, Switzerland. Did I get 5? It was 4 or 5 countries. And I was like, okay, so the countries is going to average out to like $1,000 a country.
Ooh.
Not 200, 300.
Yeah. And there's also way more countries.
So yeah, there's like 193 countries, 44 landlocked countries. But so my plan is to chisel away at all the coastline countries and then be like, okay, I did 150 countries.
That's pretty good.
Let's knock out these landlocked countries.
And yeah.
Chances are there's rivers, lakes. I'm thinking like the People's Republic of the Congo might get a little like it's just like a flat desert.
Have you looked into that?
I've looked into some stuff like the Lake of Chad.
Wow.
Like just been like, what am I going to do when I get here? You know what I mean?
Wow. But that must be like part of the thrill. Like that must be the most fun part now.
Yeah.
Because now you're looking at countries and you're like,
yeah,
okay, there's like an old well like over here in Namibia. Like I might be able to get on that. That's so cool.
So Namibia actually has an amazing wave.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Skeleton Coast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's all these like really interesting surf spots like off the was it the west coast of Africa?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
That I never knew about.
Yeah.
Like Nazaré.
Oh yeah. Portugal.
Oh, that's Portugal. No,
But yeah, like Morocco.
What's the big one that's I forgot where it's at. There's like a new famous one that like popped off on the
Skeleton Bay.
Maybe
they were talking about. Is it a left, like crazy long left?
Maybe.
So like, well, like Portugal, obviously, and is connected to France, Spain, and then Africa's right there.
Yeah.
So like Morocco is a great waves, and then like everything. I actually don't know what's below that, like in order.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's waves all down that coast. But Europe's good too. Europe has great waves.
Yeah, which is like you just wouldn't expect it. Like, there's no surf culture. Like, are you discovering that there's like historical surf culture in all these different areas? Like, people have been like riding these waves for like 1,000 years, like Vikings, but like we don't even talk about it.
Dude, it's crazy to think about. Like, yeah, because you do. Like, France is a place where, first of all, the waves are amazing, and like I went there and I was like, wow, like surfing is for real in France. Like, as a kid, you're not like, you know, you think Paris.
It's baguettes and mimes and Eiffel Towers and shit.
And like there's a full booming surf culture, the whole thing in France. It's pretty mind-blowing. Even though like there's always been a pro contest there, I knew about it, everything, but like when you go there, you have to experience it to see. One thing I do want to tell you about Europe, which is really cool. So like, you know, when a hurricane comes up the East Coast and it spins and like you see it off the coast on the news or whatever, and we get waves from it. Those are some of our best waves. Then it goes up into like Canada, then it spins around and goes to like Ireland, England, France. Like it goes like this, like around the Atlantic and then down. So like that storm just hits the East Coast of the US and then builds. And they just get like bigger waves from like the same cyclone.
Wow.
It's pretty sick.
I had no idea.
It's cool. Everything's connected. That's something that surfing has taught me.
Yeah. Because you're in the ocean. You're like, yeah, this water is kind of the same water as that water.
That's part of my game, like with the 50 states and the countries and the oceans and stuff, because I'm like, really, it's one.
Yeah.
But like, these dudes just decided to.
Yeah,
like,
I guess this is different. South Dakota is different than North Dakota for some reason.
Whoever got in the position to be able to make that claim.
Yeah.
That was their claim.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Funny. Yeah, you did surf in 50 different pieces of land that are apparently the same thing.
Same one.
Even though it's not. Like, even though they're not different at all.
Yeah.
Except Hawaii is completely different, but that is a part of the same thing.
Yeah. But, and then like cultures are funny too. Like things are just different in different places everywhere.
Do you find that people have a different mentality towards surfing? Like, I know like in Hawaii, you have like a very like spiritual, like surf culture that has been there for thousands of years of people canoeing and standing up on canoes and stuff. Like, did you find remnants of that in different places? Yeah.
I think surfing, the one thing about it that's amazing is that like, you take a surfer from all these different parts, anywhere, lakes, rivers, oceans, whatever, and they're all standing on a beach together, they're all going to be able to talk and get along and chat and speak about the energy that we're riding, even though it's different energy everywhere. And there's some crazy connection between all surfers, which is why that localism thing is such a bummer.
Yeah.
And it's like, why does surfing attract? Like, how did those people get attracted to surfing?
Yeah.
Because like all these other people, for the most part, are just like I can stand on the beach like with anyone I've ever surfed with, no matter where they're from, and just be like, look at that one. Like we'll just watch the wave break, and they'll be like, whoa, that's a sick one.
Yeah, there's like a purity to it.
Yeah,
and it's like, why? How did these like kooks that are just like fucking up the whole vibe for everyone? Why are they also into it?
The good thing is they don't. Because it's such a small amount of people that they don't end up fucking up the vibe for everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it must be so cool to see it cross culture, like a Hawaiian dude, a kid from Jersey, and then a Japanese guy can all like connect.
Yeah. And like, dude, that's the crazy thing. Because we were in Japan for the 7 seas, and like, I could never even communicate with some of the guys that I was surfing with, but I would paddle out, and we knew that we were there for the same reason. So like, I take off on a wave, and they're like hooting for me, you know, like, yeah.
That's so cool.
And we're like, and I'm like, dude, it's good. And they're like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
And like, that's it. Like, we don't have to know anymore. It's just like,
feel the stoke.
Yeah, we're stoked.
And so I'm curious, like with Japanese guys, like obviously Japan is a very distinct culture. You know what I mean? It's like there's a very precise, like excellent version of Japanese culture. It's like, everything they do extremely technically to the best of their ability. It seems like across everything, right?
For sure.
So I'm curious, does that transcend into surfing? Like, do they surf in a way that's like very technical?
Yeah, like that guy Kanoa Igarashi. He's actually like more. He was born and raised in California, but he like has roots in Japan. But we've noticed like Asian countries are getting better really fast. But Brazil, dude, is the spot. All the good surfers are coming from Brazil. Like when I was a kid 20 years ago, there was like 2 Brazilian surfers on tour. Now it's like a majority of the tour. And they're the strongest, the most powerful, the most skilled, the biggest airs, the most technical. It's pretty crazy.
And what is it? Is it just the geography of having the best waves? Is it the culture? What?
I think it has a lot to do with like the fact there's this guy, his name's Adriano de Souza, and he's a Brazilian surfer. He's a world champion. I think 2015. He was on the world tour forever, and like he's from the favela. Like he's from like the poorest part of, I think, either Sao Paulo or Rio de Janeiro. And it's like, I think they want it the most. A lot of those guys. So, and I think that's what makes the difference.
Interesting.
And it's pretty, some of their stories are amazing. Like I brought that guy up because he's like one of my favorite surfers. And by no means is he one of the most skilled surfers that's ever won world titles or whatever. There's so many good people, but his story is like my favorite. It's awesome.
So he was like raised in a favela, like basically poverty.
Yeah, poverty.
Like making money growing up, like doing whatever. Yeah, I can imagine. And then just found surfing at a young age.
Yeah. That's a lot of the Brazilian guys' stories. Like they found surfing and it changed their life. And
wow.
Then they end up on the world tour making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
And it even like, there's even an element of that might even go a long way. Cause like, even if you can get into like a lower level tour and make like, you know, $20,000.
Yeah.
Like if you're living in a favela in Brazil, like that 20,000 goes a long way.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So like for him, it changes his life. Yeah. Whereas like, you know, for you were making $7,000 that year. You're like, I'm living in Jersey. Like I'm 18. This is not going to cut it. But if you're living in a favela, it's like, yo, this is already working.
I made it.
Yeah. And so now you just like triple down and then who knows where it goes.
Well, yeah. And then they have that killer instinct to be like, dude, if I make 20 grand, I can make this a life. Like I can crush it.
Yeah. I can live off 5.
Totally. Whereas like a kid from Jersey or California, their parents are going to be like, dude, $7,000.
Yeah, we
what
gotta
are you
step
doing?
up.
And then the kid like feels like shit. He's like, well, I guess surfing sucks.
I'll sell insurance or whatever I'm supposed to do. Yeah, that's crazy. That's actually a really interesting mentality. So like you come from nothing, you're willing to like hustle, and then on top of it, I guess the barrier to entry for surfing is probably pretty low. Like if you're trying to play like, you know, like if you're trying to go skiing, you need to like live near snow. You need to have a snowboard. You need to have snow equipment. You have to buy a lift ticket. Yeah. Like just to try it out, you're dropping like at least $400 or $500.
Yeah, for sure.
That's tough for most people.
And surfing, like, well, now it's even better because there's guys that have grown up and surfed and they will help the younger generation. But yeah, you can still find a surfboard for $100, $150, and it'll get you out there. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a piece of shit, but it'll get you out there. Yeah. And like, you ever see those videos of the kids in like Indonesia or Africa surfing on planks of wood?
Oh yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's
like,
insane.
it's the most beautiful thing ever. Like just purity, dude.
Yeah.
And they're more stoked than any guy trying to localize a knee-high wave in Florida. You know what I mean? Like that's what surfing's about for me, dude. Yeah. Like just that purity is the magic of it.
Making it work with what you got.
I think that's why novelty waves is such a thing for me, because it's like every time you go to a wave that no one's ever ridden and you have to watch it and figure it out, you go back to that, like figuring out how to ride a surfboard as a kid or figuring out your first wave or whatever. Like it's like that childhood, like adventure to make it magical. And because at a certain point, like going out at the pier every single day and trying to do the sickest top turn isn't that magical for me for whatever reason.
Yeah. For some people it's enough.
Some people love it.
Yeah. Do you think there's going to be a wave of surfers that come out of like the west coast of Africa?
Oh, for sure.
Like, are there already some where it's like
bubbling? Senegal has like a booming surf scene. There's one guy. I took them up to a standing wave in, there's a standing wave in Albany, New York, and they literally DM me on Instagram and they're like, hey, we're going to this wave. Can you give us a ride? And I like drove to the JFK airport and I picked up like 15 Senegalese surfers like straight and took them up to Albany, New York. And I like didn't really know what I was signing up for.
Yeah.
But I rolled up. Thank God I had the van, and I was like, all right, we're doing this. Like,
that's so sick.
Let's go. Because I was just like, I don't know, for whatever reason, I do certain things, like, you know how Instagram is, like a million people could reach out to you, but then like for some reason I was like, I should do this.
Yeah.
Like I should help these guys out.
These guys are coming from across the world.
Yeah.
And they just want to ride to find the spot. Like,
Yeah. So it was cool. It was cool.
That's so cool.
But there's this one guy. Okay. His name is Sharif Fall, and he's like 6'4", just like big dude. And he's from Senegal, and he is gnarly, dude. Throws huge airs like rips.
Really?
So yeah, there's definitely going to be like, it's coming.
I wonder if in the way that Brazil had this huge come up, like if,
I'm sure, dude.
Like those areas can have, like Senegal, like you have like guys winning, you know, tour from Senegal.
There's no reason why not.
Oh, that's so cool.
No, it's cool. Surfing it's progressing. I mean, there's more surfers than ever. There's more technology than ever. There's more access. There's more access than ever. So surfing, it could just keep growing and keep blossoming and just keep being like, who knows?
Are there any like Arab waves or like Middle Eastern waves?
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
Where at?
Lebanon for sure. Pakistan.
Really?
Yeah. Because wait, is Pakistan's right above India, right on the
yeah.
So there's ways there. I think access is pretty tough. But dude, there's ways in the Dead Sea.
In the Dead Sea?
Yeah. Dude, there's
waves in the Dead Sea? I thought there was like barely any tide.
Wind chop, dude.
Really? Just from the wind?
Fetch, right?
Just from the fetch. That must make it also hard for you to try to get to every country because like you probably got to move pretty quickly. Yeah. Like if you're in New York and you see there's, you know, a wave in Nebraska, like you could get there by tomorrow and it might cost you a couple $100, but like it's doable.
Yeah.
Whereas if you see that there's like wind in, you know, Pakistan, like it's going to be tough to get over there by the time the wind's still going.
So like, here's my hope that I start chipping away so much that some brand or someone is like, dude, he's going to do it. Like, I'm going to back this. So then it becomes easier for me to make it happen. Whereas like, maybe I don't have to like get there. Like we can plan like the best time to go and figure it out. Because like right now, juggling YouTube videos, my normal life, my blue collar life in New Jersey, like it's rough to think like, oh, I'm going to go surf every country. But that's also the beauty of it, you know? Being like, okay, how can I do this?
Dude, what if North Korea has like the best waves?
Oh, they got waves, dude. There's some photos.
Really?
I've seen them. I was in the, you know, there's like a overlook between North and South Korea. So I looked over and I was just staring down the coast, like zooming in.
Like the DMZ or whatever?
Yeah, well, I surfed in the DMZ, but actually North Korea, I saw like all kinds of waves. And it's like, dude, if I could get in there, I could surf so easily.
You surf like right on the demilitarized like partition?
Dude, my friend took me like as close as you could possibly get. So we were actually like we were in the DMZ and my friend was freaking out and he's from South Korea and he was like, dude, we're north of Kim Jong-un's vacation house. Cause like the border goes like this, you know what I mean? And he was like freaking out. But there's like beaches where it's cool. And then there's a certain point where it's like, okay, we're not going over there.
I mean, you basically surfed in North Korea.
That's what he was saying, but I'm not counting it.
That's crazy. If you're above his vacation house.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a good experience.
I mean, that's wild.
It's fun.
Okay, what's the sketchiest like experience you've had trying to find a wave? You can give me a couple because I have a feeling there's probably a handful of situations you've gotten yourself into, Mr. Gravy.
Man, I'm trying to think. Well, there was one time when I was in Missouri and they had this wave. It's called the Centaur Chute. And like, it only flows at like 80, 100,000 CFS. And like, I went there by myself before I was good at river surfing. And I had my 7-foot board, which was a mistake. And like, I pretty much went out and like nose dove. And like, I got like stuck in the, what do they call it? It's called whatever, the wave pretty much keeps flowing over in the same spot. It's called a hydraulic. and it's like really dangerous. But I ended up like stuck in it, and thank God I was holding like the tail of my board, but it was pretty much trying to pull me under like over and over. And I pulled every muscle in my body, like keeping myself above water. Like pretty much it was trying to drown me. And like I was by myself, dude, filming like with a tripod from the shoreline. And I was in Missouri, like in the summer, it was hot and it was just like flies biting me. It was like one of the most like brutal experiences to where like I had what's that called? PTSD from it. When I was I didn't even like realize that till like weeks later, but I was on the bank of the river like, damn, if I died in Missouri, dude, that would have been pathetic. You know what I mean?
Like, all the ways to die as a surfer. Like, yeah, he died surfing. You're like, dude, like, big wave? He's like, man, Missouri.
What? Missouri River wave. Dude, it was brutal, dude.
That's crazy. Brutal. And so literally, like, it creates like that little
hydraulic, like, and it pins
vortex, and you can get sucked under.
It can pin you in it, and you can't get out. It just keeps whipping you around.
Damn.
So then I found out there had been 4 deaths at that spot.
Specifically that one?
Not surfers, but like fishermen getting pulled in.
Kayaker gets pulled out. Wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
I mean, that's sketchy.
I haven't gone back. I just went somewhere else to check off Missouri, but
because that one freaked you out pretty good.
It freaked me out.
Yeah.
And then what's funny is like my buddy, this Grom from like my hometown, his name's Brian Gorberg. He was just like, I'm driving across country, dude. Can you tell me where that wave is? And like he like took a bunch of acid and like went and surfed it, and he was just like ripping. The
one that almost killed you, and your boy, like his 16-year-old kid, just crushing it
on acid.
Fuck, dude.
I was just like,
you should have dropped. If you had done acid, you would have made it. Your problem is you were too sober. Yeah, that's really what the issue is.
That's my problem.
Yeah,
dude.
I'm way too more
sober.
drugs. What's wrong with you,
dude? But like, that is so funny to me, dude. Like he just like went and made it happen, and I think he like visualized what I couldn't see, because when I went there, it was only like the 3rd river I ever tried to surf.
Yeah.
And then over the years, I've gotten good at river surfing, but then I had no idea what I was doing. But I think he was able to like watch river surfing and like visualize it. So when he went, he was ready for it.
So if you went now, like had you never done it so you don't have the mental block? If you just went now for the first time?
It would be a great wave.
Yeah.
Good spot.
But it's just seared in your brain.
It's not worth it.
So how'd you let go of your board?
What
would have happened?
Eventually, if I let go, I just would have gone down. And once you go like down in the certain spot, it'll just pin you. Like if the drop's to like 90 degrees, and what was happening is it was going down a shelf, and then it hit like all this debris, and it was going over the back of the debris, and that created that 90-degree drop. And that's what pins you. Like for some reason, when it's flowing like this, it just keeps going. And like, I'm not an expert, but there are like kayakers and river people that can be like, they can look at it and be like, oh, you're good. Or like, oh, don't go in. But that, like, I didn't know anything. So like I would have gone down and then just not been able to come back up. Like it just holds you in that hydraulic underwater.
Is that the most dangerous situation you've been in surfing, you think?
Dude, up until so there's this like rip at Pipeline. So like, Pipeline is a left.
And can you explain Pipeline for people that don't know?
So Pipeline is the world's most famous wave and probably the world's most dangerous wave. People literally make livings off of surfing this one wave. Like my friend, Jamie O'Brien, he's a huge YouTuber, legendary surfer, pipe master. He has made his whole career surfing this wave. And it gets 20, 25 feet tall, massive barrel, and it pitches over, super shallow reef, and it's really dangerous. And they hold like they used to hold the end of the year event for the world championship at Pipeline. Now it's the first stop of the year, I think, to try to make the tour more exciting or something in the beginning. But it's like the spot. It's the spot out of all surfing. So there's a left, which is Pipeline. And then on the same wave, it breaks at the same time. There's a right, which is like, if you're standing on the beach, a left would actually be going right, and a right would be going left, like if you're looking at it. Mm-hmm. But if you're out in the water,
it's correct.
Yeah. So there's a wave called backdoor, which is the right, and then there's a wave called off the wall. which is the next reef down, and it's pretty close. But in between those, there's this like circular suction thing on the reef, and it's like a phenomenon that happens. And essentially what happened is I took a wave at, I guess I was at Backdoor or somewhere over there. The thing about reef waves is like you see them on video and they look perfect. Like they land in the same spot every time. Mm-hmm. They're a little different every time. They can be 8 feet to the left, 8 feet to the right. It's not exact. Mm-hmm. So like it looks a lot easier than it is. But I was somewhere in that zone between Backdoor and Off the Wall, and I took a wave, kicked out. There was a set behind it, and there's different types of waves. There's waves that are a long period swell, and they've come from thousands of miles away, and they come in sets. So if it's like 18 seconds of period between the waves, there could be like 20 waves in a set. So when it's long period, that's called long period, a set can last forever, then it'll go flat for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. But short period waves, it never goes flat. There's always waves breaking everywhere, like all the time. So this was a long period swell. And essentially I took like the first wave of the set, which you're never supposed to do. But in Hawaii, like,
why?
Because there's always waves behind it. So like if you don't make it,
then
all those waves are going to hit you.
Gotcha.
So I took the first wave of the set because I'm in Hawaii and it's hard to get waves and I wanted to get a wave. Kicked out, bang, next wave hits me, breaks my leash. So now I'm at Backdoor, between Backdoor and Off the Wall in this vortex. So I didn't have any flotation on. It was like a small day. It was like small out there. It was like 10-foot faces. So I got pulled into the wave, thrown over, boom. I'm like, okay, cool. Hold my breath, come up. Got this. Another one on the head. So then I'm like, okay, I'm in the foam. I'm in this weird foam. Like I can't get to the surface. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I finally get up, boom, another one on the head. And I'm like, dude, this is fucked. So essentially I got stuck in like this 12, 15 wave set in this foam. Like I would get sucked out and the next wave wouldn't pull me up it and it wouldn't let me be far away from it to where the wave would land. It would pull me to the perfect spot every time and land on my head, take me down. And then the foam had like air pockets in it because it was very turbulent. And I was fighting to get up, fighting. And then as soon as I got up, the next one would land on me. So this happened for like probably 5 minutes.
No.
And it doesn't seem long, right? 5 minutes. But if you're exacerbating every physical thing you have left, out of breath, the whole thing. So this kid breaks his board. I see the nose of his board. I'm like, dude, can I please use that? He's like, yeah, cool. I grab it. I'm like, finally have flotation. And then this wave hits me, boom, rips the board out from under me. Dude, I'm just like, dude, this is it, boys. This is it. Fuck. It was my last day in Hawaii. It was my last surf session. Like, so now like
I'm literally about to die.
I'm a little superstitious now about surfing out there, like the last day. So I was literally about to die, and I told my filmer and everyone, I was like, dude, I gave up, and I was so winded, gassed. I was like fading black, and my toe touched the sand. And like as soon as my toe like touched the sand, I was like, I got this. And like I felt the beach, and I was like, dude, I can do it. So like it might be weird to hear, but like as soon as my toe touched, I was like, okay. I swam down because I knew it was only like 5 feet deep or whatever. Swam down and then dug my feet in and pushed in towards the beach underwater. So then like I broke out of the current, and then like I was like, okay, I'm home free. And then I drifted in, and I was just like totally out of breath, just laid on the beach like, dude, I just almost died. And then this guy, Nathan Florence, he's like a pipeline specialist guy. He like made a video about my video, and he was saying like, that's the spot on the North Shore where the lifeguards can't see you. And he was like, that's the spot. Like all of us have been stuck in it. And then I was staying at Jamie's house, and he's a pipeline specialist. And I came in and told him about it. He's like, all the boys have been stuck there. All the boys have almost drowned there. Like, so it was eye-opening. Damn. Because it was like perfect blue water, perfect barrels, offshore wind, looks beautiful.
Small day.
It's not big, and it just almost died. And I was just like, mind blown.
Fuck.
It was gnarly.
That's crazy. I mean, you think there would be like more convo about that, or like people should like talk about that more. Like, yo, there's this wave is sick, but just so you know, don't do this because you can die in this little current.
It's one of those things where like every single surfer will say it's the most dangerous wave in the world, and you almost have to experience it to believe it.
Yeah.
Because I'm always thinking, my whole thing was always like, it's the most dangerous wave in the world for sure for Jamie, who's going to go out there and surf the 20-footer. And I'm going out there and hoping to get a wave that I'm pretty reasonable with. Like, I'm the novelty guy. Like, I don't need the 20-footer. I don't need the wave of the day. Like, you know. But then that opened my eyes to like just the overall experience of like how dangerous it can be.
Yeah. And just getting caught in that cycle is like so scary.
And it's like you're not even surfing. It's so with big wave surfing, the scariest part is actually waiting. Like riding the wave is fine.
Really?
Waiting, you see sets coming and they're always long period. Like I said, like 20 wave sets, because it's long period swells are always the big wave swells. You see them coming, you don't know if they're going wide, deep, tall, breaking in front of you, if you're far enough in, far enough out, and you're just sitting there kind of like, all right, here we go, boys.
That's sketchy.
It's gnarly.
Because if the set comes in and you're in the wrong spot, it could just break on you, and then
you can get hit with one, push deeper, and now
you're just getting crushed.
Yeah.
Damn. So you got to really know like where to position. It's less about knowing how to ride and more knowing like where to be to not get sucked in.
Yeah. So like, that's when knowing a spot is like being a local is like the meaningful.
Or being with people that are local.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then like Jamie tells me exactly like, he's like, your best bet is to sit right there in there where no one catches, like, and there's going to be a wide one every now and then. And then I'm like, oh, perfect. You know, which is crazy. Like the knowledge of, because every surf spot's different, but when you're in Hawaii in those situations, it's like the severity is high.
Yeah, the stakes are so high. You have to trust the local guy.
Exactly.
You have to trust the people you're with, or just look around and be like, yeah, I'm the only one sitting over here. Like, is there ever like, would people ever just holler at a stranger and be like, yo, get over this way? You're going to get crushed over here.
And then rip currents are a real thing too.
Have you been caught in one?
No, but like, so like if I get caught in a rip current, I'll just get out of it. Like for like, just like, some guy who comes down to the Jersey Shore on a boogie board or whatever, and he gets caught in a rip current, like they don't know, and it can happen in a second. Like how? Yeah. So those situations and with inexperienced surfers is where you're usually like, yo, just so you know.
Yeah. It's a crazy rip current day.
Yeah. Like there's a rip, like you're in it, like come over here. Or like, just so you know, like waves are going to break on you if you hang out there, or like, so that happens a lot.
Bro, it's so sad. I mean, Florida, where I was growing up, like we got taught early, like, yo, these are rip currents, these are how they work, like this is how you get out of them. But like I forget that not everyone grows up hearing about them. So most people go to the beach and they could just get sucked out in one, and if you don't know, like, yo, swim like parallel with the beach, like perpendicular to the rip current, like you'll get out pretty easily and then swim back. If you don't know, you just get taken out to the ocean. It's an insane thing. Like I'm assuming everyone knows what it is, but it's literally just like you get a current that will just go directly out into the middle of the ocean that can take you pretty quickly. And if you swim against it, which is what most people do, is they kind of feel themselves getting pulled out, and they'll be like, oh, you got to swim. And I assume that they think that the whole beach is doing that or something. Like, and so they go, okay, I just got to swim against the current and I'll make it back to the shoreline. And then they just get gassed out because you can't beat the current.
Yeah, that's the thing that most people die. They just use all their energy. But yeah, usually rip currents are like 20 feet wide, literally, like, and you could just swim to the side and be good.
But if you don't know it, it's like, you just think you got to go back against it.
I saved a kid in like me and my buddy Kalani, like we saved this kid in Ocean City, Maryland, who was like, he was literally like 5 feet from the beach, but he was in the rip current, and that same thing was happening. The wave kept landing on his head, and then he would be in the current again and get hit, and it was like 11-year-old kid or something. So he didn't know what was going on. And we just literally grabbed him and like pulled him. And then like we pulled him in, and it was like crazy. Like just that little bit of knowledge like changed his whole situation.
Yeah, right?
Because like no one else was helping him at all.
Yeah,
He was just like stuck in
if you're not aware of it as no
Yeah.
lifeguard, like
It's
you just
crazy.
get stuck in there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Pretty wild.
What do you think's the biggest wave you ever caught?
So I went big wave surfing in Oregon with my friend Will Scudin, who is like, he was just in the Nazare contest the other day.
Yeah.
He's from New York, big wave surfer.
Oh, he was just in it recently.
Yeah, he was in it yesterday.
Yesterday?
I think it was yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
I can't remember what place they got. I watched their heat, but I don't remember the overall. But I went surfing with him, paddle wave. So there's a difference. You can tow surf with a rope, and you get pulled into the wave by a jet ski, which is very common in big wave surfing. Or there's paddle surfing, which is way gnarlier. Like I said, like you can get caught in the wrong spot, whatever. But he told me I caught a 33-foot wave paddling, like when we measured it. And I trust his judgment.
How does that feel?
It felt pretty cool when I was doing it.
Did it feel bigger than any other wave you've done?
Not really. So like I've surfed like 15, 20, I've surfed 30-foot waves a few times. They all kind of feel the same to me.
That's really interesting.
Like it's big, you know?
Yeah.
So like for that one, the cool thing about that wave was this guy, like this local guy, got a good story about this, by the way. He was paddling for it, and like I could tell he wasn't gonna catch it. And I'm gonna take it back to the beginning.
Take me.
So Will Scudin took me to Oregon, and we rolled up, and like we like I was filming vlogs, obviously. So like we filmed a vlog like the day I got there, and I like released it right away. And like Will Scudin got like a phone call from one of his like local friends, like heavy local friends. And he's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, what are you, Ben Gravy's just going to come here and like just blow up our spots, like all this stuff. And the guy's like, we got to meet you guys. Like, we got to have a talk. Like, we're going to meet you guys at the coffee shop. And like, and Will was like, yo, Ben, like you really, Will had good humor about it, but he was like, yeah, you're fucking up my program, dude. Like the locals are calling me. What are you dropping videos already?
Wow.
You know what I mean? So anyway, we end up going to this local shop. This one guy, super cool. Like we roll in. He's like, look, guys, the ocean belongs to everybody. Like we just want to know, like, sorry, my buddy overreacted, but we just want to know like what your intentions are. Cause like I get it too. Like we rolled out there. They might just think I'm some douchebag.
It's like a protective father.
Yeah.
It's like, what are your intentions with my wave?
Exactly. Because they might just think I'm like fucking Johnny YouTube.
Fuckboy,
like,
dude.
yeah, like, oh, here's the spot. Like making a mockery of big wave surfing or whatever. Which like, that's never my intention.
Of course.
But, and it's like, I feel like some people might not watch my videos and they just think like, oh, whatever, this guy films everything, he's a tool.
Yeah.
But like, I guess I feel like if you watch my videos, you'll realize
You
like,
get the intention. You understand your spirit.
Yeah.
But if you see a title in a YouTube video and you're like a local surf guy, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, what's this guy's problem?
Yeah.
So anyway, we end up having like the heavy meeting, like with the boys, like the heavy locals, and they're pretty much like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, look, guys, like I have no intention of blowing up the spot. I have no intention of disrespecting it. I don't want to make a mockery. I literally just want to ride some big waves. Like I've never done it before. Like I want to experience this. Like I'm good friends with Will, like whatever. And we just talked it out. And then the other guy, the guy that was freaking out showed up, and he was like snapping in the beginning, like all gnarly. And then, but like, I don't know. I feel like my sense of humor, and like we were like kind of just being like, you guys got it, like whatever you need, but like being funny about it, you know what I mean? So like eventually like we smoothed it over with all the boys, like they were fine. But then we went out for the session, and then like you get out there and everyone's like high-fiving and broing down, and like everyone's hooting for each other and whatever. As soon as that angry guy got his wave, He was cool for the rest of the day.
Of
He
course.
freaking went out, paddled into like a 25-footer, right? First wave of the day. And then he's like, yeah, like now he's like cool. And like, dude, all he wanted, he was just stressing. Now he just wanted to get the bomb. That's it. He thought, I'm like, dude, I'm never taking the bomb from you. I respect you guys. You guys got it, you know? So they all ended up being super cool. And then the one guy, the first guy we met at the coffee shop, that wave that I got, the 33-footer, he was paddling for. And it was kind of a moment because he knew he couldn't get it. And he kind of like went like, go, Ben, you know? So like the heavy local like gave me the biggest wave of my life.
Wow.
So it ended up being a really cool experience. But I dropped in and this thing was towering over me, 6 times over my head, whatever. And then like I got cocky and I'm like drawing a line up and I thought I could get barreled. And dude, the thing just axed me.
No.
Axed. And then, dude, the crazy thing about big wave surfing is it sends you like, it sent me like 20 feet underwater. And then like you pop up and you're like, oh my God, like where was I? I was in a vortex. But super classic situation. Grateful for that. So thanks, Will.
That's crazy. So when you get crushed by a big wave, you're still obviously leashed. You get sent 20 feet down.
Sent down, yeah.
Do you need to know how to fall? Like, do you practice this where you're like, okay, dude, I'm about to get clipped, super deep breath, close my eyes, and then wait for my board to bring me up? So
surfing's really weird. Like, the things that you think are going to just absolutely destroy your body don't, and then the things that you don't do. Like, I don't know if you saw when I broke my collarbone last year. No. It was on like a 2-foot wave. And I literally dropped in and the wave just threw me over and I hit the sand.
Oh, fuck.
But then like I broke it in like 3 pieces. Dude, it was like standing up.
No.
Like that wave, like 20 feet of water landing on my head sent me down. And like I came back up and I was just like,
let's do it again.
I'm amped. Like, let's go.
Crazy.
But I will tell you this, before I even caught a wave that day, we did toe surfing in the morning before everyone was out there. That's how you get like reps. You get a bunch of waves under your belt. And then we went for the paddle session. And I'm thinking like, oh, I caught a bunch of waves towing earlier. Like I know where the waves break. I'm going to sit further in than everyone else. And that's where I learned my big wave surfing lesson of the sets break further out as the swell's getting bigger. So I was sitting like where the waves were pitching because I thought that was the spot because I was just toe surfing all morning. When really not realizing you have to paddle super hard from out the back and get in it way early and all this stuff. So I ended up catching, before I even took a wave that day, I caught like a 25-footer on the head and I had to stand up. And you stand on your board and dive. Because like you paddle towards the wave as fast as you can and then you have enough speed where you can stand up on the board on flat water and then you dive to try to get more depth. And I got rocked. I got like tossed, turn, and that's like where like you can feel the wave like take your body and like it'll bend your arm and you're like, oh, is this about to be bad? And then like your knee will be sideways and then like
bro,
people can get hurt.
That much water is moving you.
And it does this like
insane.
It whips around underwater and it can mess your body up. But like for the most part, I feel like what I've put my body through, I've been lucky. But it can get nuts.
I mean, that's crazy. Yeah. Have you ever been out there where someone like really got hurt?
I've seen a few just like, I think pretty minor injuries.
Yeah.
I broke my nose surfing too. My board like hit me.
Oh, damn.
I saw this kid like really mess up his knee. He dove off and I think he hit the bottom and his knee was like sideways. But for the most part, I haven't seen like anything too gnarly. But this year at Pipeline, there was like a lot of people that got super injured. I wasn't there for any of it, but
does that mess the vibe up? Like if you're like, yo, this guy like almost drowned.
Yeah, it's because everyone's protective and they want to save the and like so for hours after or that day, like a lot of people probably, I don't know. For me, that's like a kind of a sign, I think.
What do you mean? To
be like, okay, this guy got smoked. Like, I'll probably take it easy the rest of the day. But like, I haven't really witnessed it, but I would think that's how I would feel, I guess.
Yeah.
But
would you say generally big wave is the most dangerous type of surfing?
I would say waves like Pipe or like Chopo in Tahiti, like waves where it doesn't have to be the biggest wave ever, but it ledges on the reef. Like a lot of big waves. Well, Mavericks is kind of a different story because you've seen videos of Mavericks like where it's like 50 foot and barreling. That's dangerous. But like waves like Pipeline, where it goes from deep to shallow and it stands up and ledges and barrels, that's where people get hurt. Because if it's a wave like, let's say the wave I was surfing in Oregon, like, yeah, it's 30 foot, but if you get hit by it, chances are you're going to get pummeled, dragged around, flipped upside down, and you have a better chance of drowning than you do like hitting the bottom or breaking a bone or something.
And that's the most dangerous thing is getting hit or like hitting the reef.
The most dangerous thing would be going over, hitting the reef, hitting your head, getting knocked out. And then
that's it.
That's how a lot of people get hurt at Pipeline. Because like, yeah, the big wave, you're just getting washed in and tossed.
But you're going to come up.
Yeah, for the most part, with the flotation and
yeah,
for the most part, you should be good. So waves like Pipeline.
And how close is the reef on Pipe?
Dude, it can be like a foot.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, it can be like, because Pipe is like this, it's like a super flat, shallow reef in the takeoff area. And then the reason it tapers off is because it gets a little deeper or turns into sand. It kind of depends on like the time of the year. But right at the takeoff, and usually going backdoor when people go right, I feel like a lot of people get hurt because if you get taken over right at the top and slammed under that lip, that's when it can be like 3 feet deep, a foot deep. Like it can be super gnarly. Like I've hit the reef at backdoor a few times.
Really? Just like your shoulder? Like
shoulder, side slam, and just on smaller waves and whatever. And then like a few times I've gone out, and this one time in particular, I went out and like I was just feeling it, you know? So like I just swung on like a wave that no one wanted, and like that's usually a bad sign. No one wants it. And I took it, and it was like a big backdoor barrel, and like I'm regular foot, so I like backdoor and I like rights. So I was just like feeling it, and it just bottomed out, and like it sucked me up, and like as I went up, I like saw the reef, and I was like, now I see, I know I wanted this one. But it like tossed me a couple times around like in the barrel before I hit, and I just didn't hit the reef or anything. I just hit the water and got lucky, and I kind of popped up, and I was like, thank you, God. Like, whoa, thanks for the wake-up call.
Yeah, that's
like,
a little sketchy.
Now I know what I need to be doing out here, and it's not taking the first wave of the set. Like, that. Like, whoa. So, like, it's a lot of spiritual signs, and I feel like just trying to, like, read the situation in front of you.
What are some of the superstitions that you abide by when it comes to surfing? Is there ever, like, oh, I don't wear this color, or I don't put on this thing, or if I see this, I got to go?
I think for me, it's mostly just all feeling. Like there's not certain rituals that I do really, but like sometimes it just feels sharky and you're out of there.
Are there general rituals that like people abide by? Like there's like a thing with like fishing, like no bananas on the boat.
Oh yeah.
You've heard this? Like,
yeah. I've had to throw some bananas off too.
Yeah. So that's like a classic fishing thing. Is there anything like that with surfing where it's like no X when you're doing Y?
Dude, I might be tripping, but I can't think of anything like that. Like always wax your board.
Wait,
always wax your board. But
fair.
like, yeah, I mean, I think it's just more stuff that like maybe people don't talk about really. Or it's like every break is unique, but it's like, yeah, don't take the first wave of the set at certain breaks, like, or don't.
Yeah. But that's more like a practical thing.
Yeah.
Like there's something associated with that still.
But as far as like that kind of thing, like superstitions, I can't really think of anything, and I don't really practice anything. I just always am just feeling it out.
Yeah.
And sometimes like a session could be like super dangerous, but I'm just like in a good mode. My head's working and like it's good. Like I'm charging.
Yeah, I'm ready for the danger.
Yeah, and I feel good. And then like other times, like it's not even that sketchy, and I'm just like, this ain't for me. And like I think you have to just believe and follow that.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely the best like way to go about it, because yeah, if you're turned on all the time trying to charge and trying to prove something, that's, I feel like we're
gonna hit a wall.
Yeah, for sure.
At New Smyrna, which is like the beach I was always at, just like hanging out, just like in high school, we would just go like drink on the beach or you know, just parties and shit at New Smyrna. But that was the shark bite capital of the world.
Oh yeah, there's sharks everywhere.
Everywhere. Like it was like the #1 spot. There were sharks absolutely everywhere. But it was like spinner sharks. It was like little spinner guys.
Yeah.
And so these are like little sharks that are probably like, I don't know, 2-3 feet. They like jump out of the water, and they actually do this cool little thing where like they'll sit at the bottom, see little fish, and then jump up, grab the fish, and jump out of the water, and then land. And that's why they call them spinner sharks. Like they're like spinning out of the water, but they're super cool. But they're like little, and they're just like nibbling on people all day.
They like nip people, right?
So like I have so many friends that have shark bites. Like no one really loses any limbs or nothing, or like even a toe, but it'll just be like, oh yeah, on my calf, there's this little scar, and it's like that big of just like a little shark bite. So in the times that you've been surfing, have you seen sharks like that? Like what is the vibe and the sense when it comes to sharks or sea creatures?
All right, the only time I've ever seen a shark eye is at Seaside Reef in California, and it's in San Diego, and it was like a, there's a certain word for it. It was a baby great white, juvenile great white, and the fin was up, and I don't know what is wrong with me, but I was like, dude, there's a shark. I like rolled my GoPro and just started paddling towards it. And I was like, this is sick. I was like, this is sick. There's a shark. So then I got like 5 or 6 feet away from it. I was like, yo, what am I doing? What's wrong with me? And I just took a wave in. Like I got like a shiver down my spine, like freaked out, like went in.
How big was it?
It was like 7 feet.
What?
Like 7 feet long. But like someone told me after that if you can see the fin above the water like that, they're not hunting. So like I was safe, and I was like, could have got a shot.
So you were just chilling with a great white for a little.
I was super stoked when I saw it, and then I like quickly realized that I'm insane. Like, what was I thinking?
Did you get any footage of it?
I got like kind of some footage, but my freaking camera was in super view because I was filming surfing, and you want it wide. So like you can see the fin, but it's so, you know how it is with those cameras, dude. It wasn't what I was looking for.
Oh, that's crazy.
But then it's one of those things where, like, if I dipped it underwater, I definitely would have gotten a shot, but I wasn't thinking. I was thinking I was too far away to dip it.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I got a little bit of footage of it.
That's sketchy.
It's pretty cool. And then I've been in the water a few times when people thought they saw sharks and stuff, but it's more of a general vibe for me. Like, if I feel like there's a shark, I'll get out. If someone says they saw one and I still don't feel like I don't feel the vibe, I'll stay in.
Oh, crazy.
I don't know.
What about dolphins? You ever see dolphins?
A lot of dolphins.
Really?
Yeah.
They're kind of sick, right? Like you ever surf with them?
Yeah, dude, like on the wave.
Yeah.
It's rad.
What happens? Like explain
It's like magical. It's like we were surfing Hurricane Larry like 3 years ago. We were surfing this outer shoal, like in New Jersey, and in between some of the inlets, there's a sandbar that's like a mile out. And dude, we were doing the step offs with the jet ski because it's like far out. And I just got a couple waves where I was riding, and out on the shoals, like the waves will pitch, but they won't like break for a while. They'll just like pitch like the lip, like you can see the lip, but it's not breaking, but you can like ride them and carve. And it was sick because we were riding the rights, and the dolphins would just be in the wave diving in front of us. And it was just like magical experience, dude. And you're just like, dude, I'm in the right spot right now. Cause like that's
a good sign.
Universal. Yeah. Like universal energy or whatever. Like they're riding the wave. We're sharing that energy.
Yeah.
I don't know how to like.
It was good for the dolphins. It's good for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they live here.
Yeah.
If it like those are the locals.
Those are the heavy locals.
You know, it's like so local. You know what I mean?
And then I got a friend who's afraid of dolphins, dude.
No. How?
His name's Palm Beach Perry. I don't know, but when we go on the jet ski, he's like, I'm not going near those dolphins, dude. And I'm just like, dude.
Well, you know that these dolphins be, you know, they be f***ing, bro. Have you heard about this?
No.
You never heard about this, dude?
No.
The dolphins can like get after it. Like they're like a little
Really?
sexually deviant.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I've like heard stories about it. So, like
This isn't from South Park?
it's also from South Park. That's where I learned a lot of the science from. But no, dolphins will get up there and they'll start fucking wiggling on you, bro.
Really?
They're little creeps.
That would...
Some
Okay,
of them, some of them.
wait,
I don't
so
want to. I
wait.
don't want to generalize all dolphins.
Dude, something...
There's
Was
probably
it a
some
dolphin?
chill ones.
Something like lobbed up on my board once. I don't think it was a dolphin. I can't remember.
What was it? Like a
Maybe like a
Puerto
seal,
Rican guy or
seal
something? What are you talking about? How do you not know what
like,
it was?
Dude, because like, you know, you ever have like a distant memory that you're like, oh, dude, that happened, but like I can't
Oh
exactly.
yeah, it's kind of foggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might need to recess it,
some
dude.
type
You
of
might
animal.
You might need to do some ketamine therapy and find it. You can get that
You
memory
love
back.
ketamine therapy, huh?
Yeah.
Do they know about that?
Yeah.
Your viewers?
Actually, I don't know. I haven't really talked about that.
Should like insert like a.
Yeah. There's got to be a way to use it, but for now, it's just like if I ever get kicked out, I'm just gonna sleep in the treehouse.
Did you build that?
Yeah.
Why?
Just for vibes.
For vibes?
Yeah.
Couldn't think of anything else.
No, sometimes you just need a treehouse, dude.
It's true.
What else are you gonna do with that?
This set is like a little bit of I don't know. Maybe you didn't get to have this when you were a kid or something. Like I had a big ass treehouse when I was a kid.
Why are you psychoanalyzing me, dude? You're like, oh yeah, maybe you got molested, or what do you think it is?
Bringing up dolphins, dude.
Yeah. Maybe you just want to be a kid forever. Yeah, basically.
That's what surfing is.
Yeah, yeah, damn near. No, honestly, the set is just like, what is the best way for human beings to communicate?
Yeah.
And it's like being out in the woods. Camping, dude. Genuinely. Like, it's the best way.
I felt good the whole time I was here, dude. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Have you ever gone like surfing, camping? Like where you just camp out
No, but
and then
like
wake up and then go?
I always like dreamed about that, but that's what I was doing the van life thing for.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would just park and be like, all right, we're waking up and the only thing I have to worry about is like surfing a state tomorrow. And like I'd wake up in the van and be like, dude, going to surf Arkansas.
That's a nice little lifestyle, huh?
It's cool. It's fun.
What was it like? Why could you not do that forever?
I probably could, but the only thing that would be holding me back is like, how could I continue to keep people interested in the 50 states, you know, for views?
Yeah.
It was like, at the end of the day, I got to get views.
Yeah.
To continue my career.
So we got to keep pushing it. We got to keep
So I
finding
got
the
to
frontier.
keep changing it up.
Yeah.
You know? It was cool for a while though. I think it was everything happened in the perfect time. Because like I feel like if I was doing that now, like people now expect me to surf like better waves. They expect me to go on crazier adventures. But then it was perfect.
Yeah.
It's been like a slow growing process, you know?
And all the times you've been traveling, not even including like, not even looking at the surfing component, what's the most dangerous thing that's happened to you on your travels? Have you ever been robbed? Has anyone ever been like, oh, you're sleeping in your van? Like, are you on drugs? Been arrested?
I got woke up by the police one time, banging on the thing, and dude, that was the scariest thing ever.
Sketchy, right?
And then another time I was with my wife, and I was like, let's just sleep in the van. Let's just sleep in the van. And she's like, no. She forced me to get a hotel room. This is in Massachusetts. Because it was going to be like freezing, right? So she made me get a hotel room. Woke up the next morning, van window was smashed. They stole $3 in cash, like out of my little thing. You could barely see it. I don't even know how they saw the money sitting there.
$3?
$3.
I mean,
and I was like, good thing we didn't sleep in the van.
These like robbers must feel so dumb.
That would
Sometimes they're like,
suck,
dude, I
right?
see cash, and they're like $3.
What can you get with $3? McDonald's?
Barely.
They want crack though.
Yeah.
Right?
But what's crack going for? Like, what's the market rate on
It's
crack?
gotta be more than $3.
That's what I'm saying.
In this
Like,
economy,
how
dude.
many cars you got to break just to get like $30? 10 cars just to get $30.
And that was the only broken window in the whole row. So they obviously saw like the $3 and they're like,
I wonder if they saw your van and they're like,
I'm
there's
in there.
probably crack in here. Like they were really looking for crack, and they're like, damn, it's just money.
so picture if I made my wife sleep in there. We got the windows smashed, dude. That would be so heavy.
You wake up, just glass hitting you. You're like, what the fuck? And then the guy would be like, yo, where's the money? And,
Take
oh
the
my God.
$3.
Yeah, you have to give it to him. And then you have to try to go back to sleep after your windows got crushed in.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, that would suck. But never anything dangerous where you're just like traveling around, people fucking with you.
Nah, not really, dude. Honestly.
That's cool, actually.
I don't know. I feel like I'm just like out there. Maybe I'm just like in my own world or something.
Do you believe in God?
Yeah.
Like,
I do.
is it like a religious God, or is it like
No.
it's just like
So
higher
like,
being?
okay, so like I went from like Christianity.
Yeah.
I grew up Protestant, United Methodist. Mom forced me to go to church. And then like when I got old enough where I could say no, I like God was out, dude. Didn't believe in it at all. And then when so I quit drinking. I got completely sober from everything, but drinking was my issue.
You were drinking a lot?
I drank every day of my life.
Oh, really?
Every day.
From when to when?
Probably from 18 or not. I probably started drinking. I was introduced to alcohol at like 13.
Mm-hmm.
Started partying heavy at 15. Probably from like 18 or 19 to like 25. It was a slippery slope. So by the time I was 25, 26, I drank every day. I'd buy a 30 pack of Busch Light every day of my life, dude.
Busch Lights, dude.
Natty Light, Busch Light.
Boozing off light beers.
Back in the day.
That's
dude,
crazy.
back in my day, dude, that shit was like $15 a 30 pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were an economic
For sure.
drinker. You were like,
Yeah.
what can I get for $30?
So
You were breaking windows trying to find $3. Just like, yeah, let me get a Busch.
never got that bad, but I do remember there was a point when I had $60 in my bank account, and I remember my dad was like ripping on me. He's like, "What are you gonna do?" And I was like, "I can go to Maynard's 3 nights with $60, dude. I'm good.
Wow.
Like I can go to the bar for 3 nights, bro."
And you literally saw like the amount of nights you could go out
Yo.
and get fucked up.
Yeah.
And are you blacking out most of these times?
Oh, man, I never really was like I never blacked out that much because I drank a lot of beer. I would be like 2 shots at the bar guy,
Yeah.
but a lot of brownouts.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
really
like where you're kind of foggy. And then,
that thing happened.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then like, just like for me, it was, I don't know. I'm like pretty spiritual. And for me, it just crushed my spirit, crushed my soul, crushed my ambitions. And it wasn't necessarily, I don't think, the physical dependency. Like a lot of people say, like if they're an alcoholic, like they're physically dependent on the alcohol.
Right.
I don't know if it was that. Because like I definitely had withdrawals. I'd go through depression and stuff if I didn't drink. But it was more so the lifestyle I think I was addicted to, like that. Just like being around people like that, like, and I don't know, there's something about, like I was talking about it a little bit earlier, but like when I had to not surf and I had to be like a normal person, I really hated myself. And like, I kind of hated like the fact that I couldn't do what I wanted to do with my life. But that was a block that I put on my own brain. I feel like I was like, well, if I can't be a pro surfer, fuck it. You know what I mean?
What's the point of anything?
Yeah. So I was kind of just going through the motions of college and life. And I loved video production, but I didn't find a way to do it passionately for myself. I was always working for someone else. And I think I don't know. It was just like I hated myself at that point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But in those days, I really got away from God and spirituality and everything. So when I decided to get sober, which was Christmas morning 2015, sobriety was a crazy wake-up call for me, spiritually, emotionally. Like for someone like me who numbed themselves for years, getting sober, like, dude, I would just like cry. I'd be like, fuck, dude. Like, I would just be like, how beautiful is life? Like, I forgot that this existed. And that's how I started my vlog. I started surfing every day because I missed it so much. And because of drinking and my life and everything, I was away from it. So I started surfing and vlogging, and the vlog was kind of, what do you call that? It was like therapy for me.
Like cathartic.
Yeah, it was like, and it kept me, I guess it kept me honest, the vlog. Because I vlogged every day when I first started. And I'd be like, all right, I'm not drinking today because I'm going to vlog.
And how many views were you getting at this point? -5.
Like, it started real slow, 50, 60 views.
That's awesome.
And then 300, 400. By the end of the first year, I was getting like 1,000 views of vlog.
And you were stoked on that?
Super stoked. Did I remember the first time I made $1,000 in 1 month? I was like, this is it. That's when I quit editing.
Oh, really? $1,000 a month?
That's pretty sick. Right?
That's sick. Yeah, this will do.
Looking back, I feel like I'm nuts. But like the Ben today, looking at that Ben, I'm like, you're a dreamer, buddy.
Yeah.
You know, like,
You needed that. Though.
Good for you, though.
You needed that.
But being there, that was everything to me.
Yeah.
And the sober high, it was like 2 years, I feel like. And then I remember when I feel like reality hit me at a certain point. And my wife, who is also she's in the program, she's been clean for like 10 years. She told me like that's called the pink, I think she called it like the pink cloud or the pink balloon popping or something. Like when reality sets in after you're sober. It took like a year and a half or 2 years or whatever. But like I was saying, like I'd just be like, I was so emotional and like I connected back with spirituality and I just believed in the universe and I saw the oneness of everything and I just believed in like, I felt like everyone could win. And like, it is, looking back, it was a magical time because now I'm a little bit more like, I guess, beaten down by society and normalcy and everything. And I'm a little more cynical.
Yeah.
But back then, I thought everyone could win. It was beautiful. The world was magic. Like, we could all do this. And it was a great time in my life, dude. And the vlog would never have been if I didn't have that mindset. I couldn't have done the 50 states. I couldn't have done everything I've done.
Because you got a second chance, kind of. Like, you feel like you were, like, reborn.
Well, yeah. And surfing, I accidentally became a pro surfer. Well, I semi-pro surfer. But I accidentally became able to surf for a living.
Right.
From that whole sober experience and everything, because once my videos got popular, then I got sponsors again and stuff. And then like, it's kind of all just been like a fun experiment.
Because when you started making the vlog, you never thought like, oh, I'll do this and then I'll get views and then I'll make the money and then I'll convert to.
No.
It was literally just to keep yourself honest from.
I was like, dude, if I do this, I'll stay sober. That's it.
Wow. So
it was a very honest, like very pure thing. Cause like now I'm like, okay, well I gotta, now it's more business, you know?
Yeah, of course.
But back then it was like, yeah, it was pure. It was like, all I have to do is make it to tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know? And that's why the 50 states was beautiful. It was like a checklist for me. And then like by the end of the 50 states, like I had like sponsors and it's fucking crazy, dude.
And how early in that process did you do the 50 states?
I started the 50 states in 2017.
Okay, so like a year after you got sober.
A year and some change, yeah. But then I already had like, I think I had like 14 states done by accident because I was like driving around and like trying to surf and stuff. And yeah, I forget where this whole story started, but.
No, this is the kind of stuff that I'm really interested in. Like that journey of like, okay, I'm like alcohol's ruining me, getting disconnected from spirituality.
Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about.
This vlog connects you back to who you are, to yourself, keeps you honest. Yeah. And then that honesty, I think, ultimately probably merges you with like your spirit. Yeah. And then, then I was all into like universal energy and stuff. And then, I don't know, I've just slowly, as I've gotten older, been like, I think I've seen evil kind of show itself in weird ways in my life and like temptation and stuff. And I'm like, I feel like there is like, you know, it's not the Jesus with a beard. But there's a force. There's a negative force and a positive force. There's like a God and like a devil, I think. Yeah. I don't know. I choose to just like live like positively and try to do good things. And like, I think everyone knows what's good and bad, right? So like, for the most part. Yeah. But like, I know what's good and bad and I know what hurts people and doesn't. And I just try to stay on the path of righteousness, like just like the good side of things. And when I pray, I talk to God. I'm like, hey, God, like we got to chat about this. Not getting enough views, dude. Can we up the algorithm maybe? I don't know if you know the people at Google, but maybe you could talk to them. Jesus, please put me back in the algorithm. Do I need to make shorts? What do I need to do? I really hate short form content. I feel like it's the devil. Yeah. I just want to surf and show people what it's like. That's so funny. But I feel like I just got driven back to that. So. And are you completely sober? Do you like smoke weed, 100% mushrooms? Sober. Like, nothing. Really? Coffee, caffeine. Did you ever do like psychedelic drugs like early on? No, but I feel like weed affects everyone differently. And I've had full-blown hallucinations from weed. I never liked weed.
every time I smoked it, I'd hallucinate and hear voices and bug out and see colors and shit.
Yeah.
And I'd always ask my friends, and they're like, dude, what are you talking about? And I'm like, dude, I think it affects me differently than, like, because weed can be like a psychedelic.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
From the research I've done.
I feel that way.
And so I quit smoking weed probably a year before I quit drinking. Because I was just like, you know what? It's been too many, I don't like it.
That's how I feel. I'm like 50-50. I've like smoked weed probably like, let's say 20 times.
Yeah.
10 of the times have been so fun.
Yeah.
It's like me and my friends just laughing, like watching a movie, like the best movie ever. Then the other 10 times are like pretty heavy, like weird, paranoid, like kind of seeing shit, like having these thoughts that are like scare me, where I'm like,
yeah, okay.
dude,
So maybe
like,
you're a little bit similar.
type shit, where I'm like, I'll literally one time I smoked with my buddy over here, and then I would just like immediately was like, hey dude, I gotta go home. Just like immediately. Like the thing that
I know
happened,
the feeling.
bro, like is I even told him, I was like, I don't really do well with weed, so I'm gonna do a really small amount. He was like, all right, cool. So I did this like I couldn't even explain to you how small it was. I'm like, well, I'm gonna go home.
Yeah.
And he was like, you good? I was like, no. And so I immediately text my wife, like, as like I feel it kind of coming on, like, oh, I'm about to be too
When
high.
it sets in, it's gnarly.
I text her, I'm just like, hey, just so you know, I smoked with my buddy. I just need you to kind of just bring me down, okay? And she was like, all right, let's go. And so I'm climbing the steps to my place. It's like a 3-story walk up. I'm going. I finally hit the top step. At this point, I'm just too high. I'm just like so anxious. I'm thinking about the planets. I'm like, are planets even real? Like, how are they even up there? Like, just losing it. And then I was like, human beings, like, we're just apes, I guess. Like, we're like primates that just walk around like with language. And then I saw my wife, and I was like, you're not even a person. You're just another primate. We're all primates, dude.
Whoa.
And that was freaking me out, because I was like, is everything a lie? Is God real? Like, if we're primates, like, is there a God? And I was, dude, not having a good time. And then my wife was like laying there, like petting my hair, and I was like, this is exactly what a primate would do. This is exactly what like a chimpanzee would do right now. Like, dude, we're definitely chimps. And I was like, fuck. And I was like writing it down in my notes, just being like, let's see if this makes sense tomorrow. And I fell asleep, woke up, felt like super kind of foggy the next day, but came back, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. And that was the last time I ever smoked. That was like a year ago.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't need all this, dude. Think about primates and shit.
It's too much,
it's
dude.
too much, bro.
Too much reality.
For maybe not enough. I don't know if it's too much or not enough. All I know is that the weed that we're smoking, God had nothing to do with it. This is not real weed.
That's true.
This is science weed, dude.
There's something else going on.
This is there's too much science in the weed, bro. It's crazy. But that's interesting. You had all these like realizations of oneness and like universal sort of like global unity without like any psychedelic drugs. I hear that when people have like mushroom experiences.
Yeah, I think I suppressed my understanding for so long, because I literally like, dude, I would not like. I would drink a lot. Yeah. And it's like 72 hours before alcohol is completely out of your system. And I think I had it suppressed for so long. And yeah, dude, I got everything I wanted from that I was chasing by drinking from getting sober.
What do you mean by that?
Like all the feelings I wanted from drinking and being around people and like partying.
Confidence, acceptance.
Yep.
Feeling like you're a part of the thing that's happening and that you're actually cool and that people like you.
Well, I just dropped all that.
Yeah.
As soon as like a couple months into being sober, I was like, I want to be lame. Fucking this rules.
Yeah. Let me get a wife and a house and like a dog, and like let me just surf as much as I can.
Dude, there's beauty to like living a normal life.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking awesome. I've been able to experience some awesome stuff from like what I do for a living, but like I don't want anything to do with like being like a rock star lifestyle at all.
Yeah.
0%.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I was actually talking to a friend of mine. He was like, you know, how do I make my kids like great? You know what I mean? Like, it's like if I'm, you know, if like they're too coddled, like they won't be great. But if like, you know, they're like, they need a little bit of like, you know, toughness and like bad things to happen to like make them resilient. Like, how do you balance that, yada, yada. And I was thinking about it, I was like, if your kid like grows up to like live a regular life with a wife and like 3 kids that love him and like a job he really likes.
Fucking one.
He's great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He did something truly great. Like that is like, that's borderline harder to do than like being, I don't know, like disordinately successful in a career, I guess, which sounds inversed. Like you would think like, no, living a regular life is easier than, and by regular life, I mean like happy.
Yeah.
Like there's this guy, I forget his name, Naval something. He's on Twitter at Naval. He's like a tech startup guy that's just like a genius, genuinely. He has like all these like Twitter storms where he just like tweets life advice. Very wealthy, like very smart, worked in all these companies like in the startup space, like, but just really, really well thought out, and is one of these guys that like in Silicon Valley, like tech world, that actually has his head on straight and like has like really cool life advice. And he said these 3 things. He's like, look, the way I see the world, everything else is kind of irrelevant if you don't have these 3 things. And he was like, he described them this way, and I think the way he described them is actually important. He's like, a calm mind, calm specifically, I thought was like such a great way to put it. A calm mind, fit body, a house full of love. And I was like, I've heard versions of that before. Yeah. But the way he described that was like so precise that I was like, that's really all you need, dude. Everything else is kind of,
it's true,
super fit. Like it's like the other things around that are great, but calm mind, like just being at peace. How hard is that alone? You know what I mean? Fit body, like
everything.
Fit body, you can't even control.
Yeah.
Like if you get sick, like that's not on you.
Yeah.
And then a house full of love, like kids and a wife that like really love you. Like that's, if you could get those 3 things, that's so hard.
Yeah.
You know what
so
I mean?
true, dude.
Like,
well, like in this day and age too, like not only like just, I mean, your area specifically, New York, but like where I live too, the Jersey Shore, it's like we see like wealth, right? Yeah. And then not only that, we see Instagram where like people are just flexing.
Yeah.
And then like, I'm just grateful that like none of that affects me. Yeah. But like I have friends that just like, they just don't stop. And like their mental health is affected by what they see around them and the thought that they'll never get it. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, you got to stop. Most of it's fake. And just, you got to not give a fuck about that. You got to give a fuck about what's right in front of you, what you have, and be grateful for, because you might have things that people that you are jealous of don't have.
Yeah.
And
it's tricky to have that perspective if you haven't been like around it. You know what I mean? Like growing up, I grew up in like a pretty like well-off little community. I went to like a private school. Like the college I went to was like very wealthy. Like it was like kids of like tech CEOs type shit. Yeah. Like some of these kids that I knew, I wasn't really tight with them, but like some of the kids that I was in class with were like taking private jets on the weekend type shit. And it was through that experience of seeing extreme wealth. Yeah. And how like still kind of miserable they were. Yeah. That I was like, oh, okay. I understand the depth of the game here. Yeah. Like I was an RA for a couple of years when I was in college, so, so I could live on campus. Yeah, yeah. And so I would like do like low-key counseling sessions with some of the kids. Yeah, I'm sure. And so I'm having like heart-to-heart conversations with a kid whose dad is like running some major company that you would know of. Yeah. The kid is all access to everything and is just like
fucking miserable.
Damn, money means nothing. Yeah. Ambition means nothing. I have everything I want, or everything I thought I wanted. Yeah. But his mind is not calm. He's smoking all the time and like drinking a fuck ton to feel something. His body's not fit. And he doesn't have a girlfriend. He doesn't want to get married. And I don't know like if you can have a house full of love without that. So it's like, damn, those 3 things that seem like the easiest things, the cheapest things, even with all the money in the world, it actually makes it harder to get. Yeah.
Dude, it's just like, I mean, we adopted a rescue dog last year, Dennis. And I truly believe it's the greatest thing I've ever done. Like, he was 8 years old, surrendered to the ACCT in Philadelphia, the kill shelter. He was rescued from that shelter by another shelter, and then we adopted him. We brought him home for Thanksgiving. We were only supposed to have him for 4 days, and I adopted him the second day. No. And dude, it's like the house full of love thing just like clicking with me right now, because like he's the reason. Like I'm in love with my wife, love of my life. I married her for a reason, but like bringing that dog into my life, dude, changed everything.
It really does.
He made us a family, dude. Like it's crazy, but yeah, it is. But what I was gonna say to your point is like small practices every day that like people would either see as meaningless or never even think about, but like just getting up, taking Dennis out, taking him for a walk, doing these small things at home are like these tiny little practices that create that environment. I believe, for like a happy life.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because you just skip right over all that stuff in your mind. You never think about it.
Yeah.
But like,
no, that's the beauty of stuff like that and responsibility and taking on responsibility.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
I don't have any kids myself yet, but like all of my siblings have kids. I have like 14 little nieces and nephews. And I think about them so much because anytime I go home and I do stuff, I always try to bring a kid with me. So like, got to go to the store. All right, who's coming with me? Like, and I enjoy the practice. One, because they're not my kids, so I can just like goof around with them. And like, there's no responsibility. Like, we just like talk shit. But kids, anytime you do something with kids, they slow you down. Yeah. Which is annoying. Yeah. But it's also the point.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, you go do an errand with kids, like, it takes twice as much time. You have to like put them in a car seat. You have to get them out. Like, they're asking questions. Like, you have to get the stroller, you got to put them in it, like they're grabbing stuff, like it slows down everything. And maybe that's the reason that they're there for you, is to slow shit down. You know what I mean? Like Dennis is stuff that you have to deal with. Yeah.
Well, even like when we were in Florida this past week, like we rolled up to the beach this one time and like I didn't expect there to be waves, but I just had Dennis and Jordan with me. And like there was like this perfect little wave peeling down the line and I was like, well, I can't surf because I got Dennis. I can't leave him in the car. It's too hot. And then I'm like, but who gives a fuck? The point of all this is for me to be on this beautiful beach right here with Jordan and my dog. And it's just as perfect because the 2017 band would have ran to the car, got the board, went out, got a couple GoPro shots. And
fuck everybody. I don't care what you guys need. I'm doing what I need.
And it's like, and then like, I was thinking like, even if I went out there and caught a couple waves, like, would I even be as fulfilled as I am now? And I was like, no. And it's kind of crazy. Like, but like you're saying, responsibility really is that thing that makes you like, I guess whole would be the word. Yeah. It's crazy, man.
But I think it scares a lot of people because they're like,
for sure,
once I have responsibility, then my life is going to be way different because I can't do what I want. Yeah. But sometimes the things you want is to be in charge of something and be responsible for something. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think like the perspective you have on this stuff is really, really cool.
Thanks, bro.
And I think it's like a major contributing factor to like all the success you've had. Like for me, at least, it really comes through in the vlogs.
Thanks, dude.
Like there's a purity to it. Like it's not overdone. It's not, I don't feel like you're like trying to sell me on something. You know what I mean?
Thanks, dude.
It feels honest.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I got to give a lot of credit to my wife, dude. Because I'll be like, hey, kind of looks like there's going to be some pretty good waves in France. And she's like, cool, have fun. You know, I'll watch the dog.
So cool.
It's fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah. What is your general like advice for people that want to try to turn a hobby into a career?
Fuck what everybody else thinks. Because the only way that you're ever going to make anything happen is by going, there's 100% and there's trying. And then there's wanting it more than anything else. Because like we talked about before, mine was half like almost a mistake. But I wanted, what I cared about was my clarity and all that. And it just so happened that vlogs was part of that. But as this had become a business for me and the novelty thing in the 50 states and all these things that I've accomplished, I wanted them. I put in 100% to get 10% back, and you can't be scared of that. You have to be ready to put in everything that you have and fail. And the thing about life is that everything that you do happens one step at a time. You're not going to go from starting your YouTube channel to having 1 million subscribers. You're going to earn those subscribers one at a time, one foot in front of the other. And by putting yourself out there truly and trying, like, you can't second guess what you believe in. If you believe in it, you can make it happen. And you can't be thinking, oh, what if this guy doesn't think I'm cool? What if I get there and the waves aren't good? What if, you just have to be like, I'm going to try as hard as I can and see what happens. And that's everything that I've accomplished. Literally just being like, I'm going to try as hard as I can. I don't care what anybody thinks. Bad stuff's going to happen to me, but what are you going to do? Yeah. I'm going to try as hard as I possibly can.
I like that point of like, yo, I'm going to give everything. And even if I get nothing back, it's still worth it.
Yeah. Will you learn?
Yeah. And if there's something that you're considering, like, okay, I'm going to dedicate a lot of time and energy to this, and if I get nothing back, like, that would be heartbreaking and like crushing for me, and I'd probably quit. It's like, I don't know if that's the thing you should dedicate to.
Yeah, well, I have a couple friends who ask me for advice when they started their YouTube channels and this and that, and they're like, if it's not working after 6 months, you know, and I'm just like, what do you mean working? I didn't have, like, this wasn't a choice for me. This wasn't working or not working.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
There was no, oh, I'm going to bail. It was just like, this is it. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's no other way that it could go. I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
Until the wheels fall, until the end of time. Like, until I can't do them anymore physically, I'm just going to keep on making them.
Exactly.
And if 1 million people are watching or 100 people are watching, like, I'm still making them.
And I think expectations can hurt you too. Because, like, there's this thing, like, if you're living in the past, you're depressed. If you're living in the future, you have anxiety or something like that.
That's funny. I like that.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
Like, expectations are just putting anxiety on what you're doing. Like, for me, it's just like, I'm here right now. I'm going to try as hard as I can. And I feel like I just maybe just have a super blue collar mindset towards everything because of how I was raised. And I got to give a lot of credit to my dad for just, I meant to bring him up multiple times through when we were talking, but just he did landscaping and he built driveways and he's done like development and a bunch of just like construction type stuff. And he's just instilled like so much like never give up spirit, like just every day, just one foot in front of the other.
You're
just
not entitled to anything.
No, he's the man, dude.
Yeah.
The guy still works.
Really?
He's the man.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever bought him anything? Have you ever like got him a gift or like?
And I won't take it.
Really? He's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so like a trip or something. Like, hey, Dad, we're gonna go on.
I tried to take him to Costa Rica, dude. He's just like, he might let me one day.
That's sick.
Because I want to take him to like a really long wave, you know, where he can just cruise.
Because he likes surfing.
Yeah, he loves surfing.
Oh, that's
he never
so
gets to
cool.
do it. But yeah, he instilled so much just like blue collar fucking.
And is he happy that you get to do this and not have to
he can't
work
even,
construction?
He can't even believe it, dude.
Blows his mind, right?
He's mind blown.
Yeah.
He doesn't even understand half of it. And then like.
But he's like, you surf, and if you just film it, then you get to keep on surfing.
Well, he watches YouTube now. Like he watches everyone's videos and stuff.
Oh, that's sick.
And like he's like, it's funny though, because he like analyzes it and stuff. Like he's still got the old school mindset. You know, he analyzes it so differently.
What do you mean?
And like sometimes he takes stuff like way heavier than he should. You know what I mean? He's like, are people mad at you? You know?
Oh, like he'll read comments and a comment will be like, this video sucks. And he's like, yo, do you know Penguin Guy?
Yeah.
Penguin Guy 46 is like talking mad shit.
Yeah. But then like, yeah, he kind of gets it though. It's funny, man. But yeah, dude, it's a different world. This whole thing is fucking crazy.
Yeah. It's cool to try to like explain to your parents like, yo, it's working. Like I'm able to really do this.
Yeah.
And I think more and more I hope that people can do that where like they really can just focus in on like what they really care about and try to and be able to turn that into a way to live a life.
Yeah.
And
for
have
sure.
a lifestyle.
Well, like I brought up, people online looking at other stuff and just wanting it or being jealous or whatever. And like I think the biggest thing for me has always been like I guess just working on being comfortable in my own skin and like just like being very happy about what I have or what I've accomplished or like just enjoying the work, I think, because the work's never over. And I think if you enjoy that ride and that grind and that, there's a lot of beauty to it, dude.
Yeah. Like
embracing that. Because if you want to skip to the finish line, like what's the point, you know? I don't know.
No, I do think about that. Like someone even told me that idea, like, what is the point of watching a movie? You know what I mean? Like, is the point to like finish it? Is the point to like know what happens at the end? Or is the point to watch the movie? Yeah. The point of the thing is to experience the thing itself. And so if you're so focused on getting to the end of the movie, it's like, well, you're missing the point of what the movie's actually for, is to enjoy the really stressful part where you think the main character is done.
Yeah.
Or the really like cool part where they, win the thing. Like the whole point is to experience it.
Yeah, and if you're winning, like if you're winning every day, like you're not going to win every hour or every minute. Like there's no shot. Actually, you might not even win every day. But if you're winning for yourself, or like you're taking every loss and being like, I can come back from this, or like this is a good lesson for me, or like maybe that just straight up sucks and I got to move on.
Yeah.
But like if you're winning along the way as you go, then like you're winning. If it all gets stripped away from you, whatever. Yeah. The experience was great.
Exactly.
So like,
and trying to look at the experience positively, like I always think about this, like whenever I work out, like whenever I'm lifting the small weights that I lift, I literally always think like, man, there's someone out there that wishes they could experience the pain that I'm feeling. Like there's probably a dude that was in the military that got his legs fucking blown off. That's like, man, I wish I could like do a squat. And I'm over here being like, I don't feel like squatting today. Yeah. But then I think about that guy and I'm like, man, I'm so grateful for my problems. I'm so grateful for the pain I get to feel. Yeah. I'm so grateful for like the things I get to endure. Because there's so many people that wish they could endure those things. They wish they could even get the chance to feel that pain. So all of a sudden you start thinking less about the pain and more about how grateful you are to even get to do it in the first place. Yeah. Calm mind, fit body, house full of love. I think we figured it out. Mr. Gravy, I appreciate you, brother. This was very fun. At this point, everyone knows you. Everyone on the wave knows you. You're a household name, okay?
Thanks, brother.
Within specific households, okay? But Ben Gravy, vlogs all over, dropping shit all the time, merch line going crazy. People should check it out. Thank you so much for being here, man.
Thanks, dude.
I appreciate it. Let's do it again.
I enjoyed camp.
Let's do it again, baby. Peace.